Hello. Yes, welcome. Yes, welcome. Let me get right onto the game. Yes, there we are. Yeah, here we are. In the land of cows, bamboo, and water, I guess. It's Japan. It's cow Japan, basically. And we have to be greeted here. But yes, very excited to start this today, actually. Not because Mooshu is particularly great. In fact, I believe that throughout the course of this, we're actually going to find out that it's actually pretty much the opposite. But, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's bad. It's extraordinarily mediocre, though. Especially considering the fact that this was the final world of the initial release of the game. It's not as good as it probably should be. But what is exciting about it is actually that it indicates that we are almost at the end of Arc 1. Marleybone was the midway point. So we are now going into the 4/5 of the first arc, which means that Arc 1 is almost done. And then when Arc 1 is done, well, then we have 5 worlds in Arc 2 as well. And we are going to get our shadow spells in that as well. So basically we're almost halfway through until we actually get our shadow spells, which is very exciting. Because that's what the whole point of this is. That's the goal. That's the end portion of this. I also need to get rid of this. I was actually going around doing the tutorial quests really quick, because it turns out I actually have missed some of the side quests that were potentially available due to the fact that I had never actually finished the tutorial quests, and they take precedent over everything else in the quest log. But enough hesitating for now. Let's be welcomed in by these succulent Japanese Wagyu beef cows, which...
Greetings, traveler from the city of wizards. It is always good to see someone from your world visit here in Mooshu. So you want to see the Emperor, wizard? I have already said too much. No one may see his Imperial Majesty without permission from His Majesty's guard. However, I can save you some time. Go speak to the guard Noboru Akitami by the Jade Palace. If anyone can help you, he can.
But yes, this is a thought that occurred to me. So, Wagyu beef is a general term for lots of different kinds of Japanese cows, the most famous of which I believe is Kobe beef. Since this place is based on Japan, every cow in Mooshu should hypothetically be delicious. Which, I mean, yeah, sure, you know, they're people and whatever, but you know, think about it. Look at how stupid they look, too. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Which was something that was actually brought up by someone in a really funny Twitter post at some point, is that all of the cows from Mooshu used to look like this. But then they changed Mulinda Wu, presumably because she's the life teacher, to where she ends up looking way different from everything else, which is very jarring whenever you actually look at it. And look at these guys, they are super refined looking, so it kind of makes sense. It was a bit weird that the cows looked so dopey in the initial release, actually. But I kind of prefer it, you know? It gives it a certain level of charm that it wouldn't otherwise have. Yeah, here we are in Mooshu, finally. It's so weird actually being here. You know, it feels like the first few times are super duper slow, and now it feels like we breezed through Marleybone, relatively speaking.
So Lee sent you?
Noboru Akitami stares at you for a moment.
Very well, esteemed wizard. We are honored that you traveled so far to visit Mooshu. You seek His Majesty the Emperor, but another wizard such as you has already come before using the same beguiling words. Malastair was his name.
And there it is. You know, that's the twist, everybody. Malastair was already here. and he already got the Dragon Spire Spiral Key because for some reason the Emperor was the only one who had it.
Since that unfortunate visit, no one may see His Imperial Majesty. We will make an exception only if you willingly submit to the tests of mind, body, and spirit. I must warn you that no one has ever passed all 3 tests, except for His Imperial Majesty himself. If you accept, Lopang will administer the first test by the Rock Garden.
Yeah, I was mentioning before that Malastare seemed a lot more imposing in the original game, and a lot of that has to do with this, where he was always several steps ahead of you, relatively speaking. Right, by the time you actually get here, he's already finished everything and sent this place into chaos, right? Very similar with Wizard City. So if they actually do go back and change the story of all of the Arc-One worlds, I'm actually pretty curious as to how they're gonna make him seem less competent, I guess, and just give you more time to catch up and get more screen time with him.
Ah, you are the one who came through the spiral. Don't worry. I know you aren't with that vile Malastare.
Thank you.
Not too long ago, another visitor came through the spiral. She traveled through the Empire and wrote a history of Mooshu, then bound together her scrolls as a gift to our people.
I appreciate the lack of prejudice on that
With
part.
all that's happened, her books have been scattered throughout Mooshu. If you find them in your travels, please return them to me, so I can preserve our proud heritage.
Hashtag not all wizards. Yeah, it's specifically the death wizards. They deserve to be discriminated against, because they're all evil. You know, like Slytherin, every single death anybody always ends up going bad for some reason. There's no exceptions to it, really. I mean, I guess Malorn Ashthorn is kind of okay, but he's just like, who knows what he's gonna do in the future.
Hey there, young wizard. Those stray cats you found are sure liking their new homes.
And Dworkin, I guess. You know what? Actually, never mind. Dworkin's great. Dworkin's cool. Dworkin's not evil. But then again, he's not a teacher either. Or even necessarily a wizard. He's just like a teacher's
How's
assistant.
about helping me out with something else? Nice-looking blue oysters need to be kept in a pure environment. Instead, they've been strewn about the land. Gather them up and bring them back to me, and I'll give you a nice reward.
So let's see, what else is here? Yeah, there's a whole lot of side quests from Mooshu too, which all have to do with the weird Civil War thing going on, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, this is another one of those weird kids game things where they don't really linger on it too long, but it's always present. Is that because of Malastare, there's actually a straight up civil war going on right now. And there's like politics and stuff involved. Deep lore going on in the background. You can actually find out about the different regions of Mooshu and see how they're faring in it.
Greetings, traveler from the city of wizards. You say you are on a quest for the gem of balance? I fear I have bad news. It was to be a present for the Emperor, but the carrier was waylaid by a bandit named Hayatoko. He has been hard to track. You may want to speak with Din Ho. As a monk, he has great knowledge of the peoples of this country.
Yeah, but in general news, my back is in tremendous pain right now because for some reason, just basically out of nowhere, as far as I can tell, I just like bent over slightly and then just something popped or like something. It wasn't like a popping sensation. It was just like all of a sudden my back is in tremendous pain. So I might need to mute at times to complain about it or to readjust my position because it's past a decent amount now, but it is still very noticeable. Also, the blue oysters here are very difficult to find. Yeah, in general news, that is the only update I have today. I woke up bright and early, got started on my various side things like emotes and stuff, and then wouldn't you know it, that happened.
Greetings. I confess that I'm surprised Noboru Akitami sent you. I have never administered the test of mind to anyone other than a monk. Welcome to the Rock Garden, esteemed wizard. I see you are anxious to pursue your quest. However, there are many evils loose in the spiral, and the one you seek to battle is but one of them. Still, to be as the Muda is to be at peace and pure of mind. I hope that the Rock Garden will lead you to peace as it has for me. Go now, enter and clear your mind. Afterwards, go inside the dojo and see what wisdom you can learn there. Come to me when you are finished with your journey. I will be able to tell if you are truly pure of mind.
Eat.
You study the rocks and the patterns in the sand and see the manifestation of inner peace and strength.
Yeah, so this is actually kind of another funny thing about how overpowered the wizard is. They're able to attain peace of mind, the body, and spirit just like instantaneously before anyone else without needing any years of training or anything. We're not just strong physically. We can't just beat up a bunch of random people easily, right? That's not our only overpowered aspect, but we're also completely zen. We're also totally, completely free of all material desires, etc., etc. It's pretty neat, actually.
Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness
If it's possible,
never decreases by being shared.
if it's possible to be counted as being difficult and rare, and also just generally speaking, very, what's the term I should use? Related to one's power, no matter how you define it, whether it be internal, external, whatever. If it's possible, we've got it. Whoops. What was that? Why did that happen? Didn't mean to do that. Anyways. Lovely. I was a little disappointed at the Spiral Compendium, because I was expecting it to have some more of the fun lore, but you actually get to see the entire list of weird feats that the wizard has. Just like, oh yeah, they attained inner peace, they did this, they did that, they did this, and now they're like, they have like a bunch of different titles just about completely random nonsense like that.
Yes, yes, you have learned much. You are on the path to the Muda. Remember to keep this inner peace within you, always. Return to the Emperor God Noboru Akutami with my best wishes.
That in mind though, I need to find the sources of the more interesting and funny lore that exists within the Wizard101 universe, but I'll point it out as I can, because that stuff to me gives me life. That's what makes it all worth it in my mind.
Ah, Lo Peng says that you passed his test. I am now satisfied that you are pure of mind.
Yep, we are now pure of mind. Forever. So, we are now completely, well, we are so pure of mind that we no longer even need to keep our eyes open, I guess.
I expect a wizard can easily pass the test of mind. But what about the test of body? For your second test, challenge Samurai Yoshimotoyo to a duel and defeat him with honor. He awaits you by the water dojo.
Look at us. I think I need to back up a little bit so we can get a closer view, because of the way the camera works. Here we are. There we go. Oh, almost. There we go. So zen. We're just in a constant meditative state. Look at that. Completely pure of mind. And we shall remain like that. In perpetuity. Forever and ever. We are now more peaceful than the Muda himself, who probably meditated his entire life to do it. Because why? I don't know. That's just how the wizard works. They're just better than everyone.
You wish to battle me? I would be honored. I've never faced a wizard. Let us prepare and meet again inside the dojo.
And can I just say, I also very much appreciate the voice acting that's on the level of Inigo Montoya, like being a Spaniard. That's what it sounds like to me, at least. It's very reminiscent. It has the same vibe. Oh yeah, and here we go. The Mooshu battle theme. This is one of the best tracks in the game, in my opinion. Really love the percussion on it too. Man, it's so good. Yeah, Mooshu and Dragonspire really blew it out of the water with their combat themes. Every other world past this point has a decent one, at least. I would say all of the music in this game is pretty good. Usually it's only the final boss or final area themes that really,
It was an honor to fight you.
that really hit that vibe that you want. Man, I gotta say, I love the Mooshu battle theme more than anything else. Which makes me even more hyped for Dragonspire. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Mooshu is just kind of the world that comes before Dragonspire for me. You know, it's pretty based if Mooshu is actually your favorite world, because, you know, there's stuff to like here. But for me, it's the real cutoff point. It's like the exact middle of Arc 1. Even though it's not literally the middle, right? Marleybone feels like the end of the beginning, and Dragonspire feels like the end. Mooshu is like that weird middle part of it all. It's just like the stuff that happened in between the cool parts, in my opinion.
You walk like a victor. If you defeated Yoshimotoyo, you are indeed a formidable opponent. You must be a powerful wizard to pass the test of body, but your training can't help you pass the final test. One's true spirit cannot be disguised. Many would rather run than face the judgment of the Muda. If you are truly pure of spirit, visit the statue of the Muda at the center of the palace grounds and let your true spirit shine.
And here we are, a very bizarre feat of mental fortitude and spiritual whatever. But yeah, this is canon. You know, as a power scaler, I like to use terms like that. Or a former power scaler.
You
But yeah,
stand before the
here we go.
statue of the Muda, and it suddenly speaks.
Young wizard, you have done much good in your time. The shining spirit of a true hero is evident in you. You have passed the test of spirit. Difficulties approach you, but do not despair. If you keep to clarity of mind, strength of body, and purity of spirit, you will ultimately triumph.
And there we go. Confirmed by the big man himself. We are canonically the most pure of spirit, mind, and body, and we also are the strongest being in the universe. Look at that. I'm gonna show this as a student wizard. Very nice.
You passed the test?
Indeed I did. So, open the door.
Most esteemed wizard, you are indeed pure of mind, body, and spirit. Forgive my lack of faith. I only thought of the safety of his benevolent majesty. Find my superior, the Jade Champion, within the Emperor's throne room. He will help deliver your message to his Imperial Majesty. If you dare, go to the statue of the Muda at the center of the palace grounds and
I was
let
just
the
trying to
Muda
interview him.
examine your true spirit.
Oh, but what's this? There's a sigil outside of his door. Uh-oh. What does that mean? I don't know, let's find out.
Passed the 3 tests? Noboru Akitame was bored, but wise to administer them to you. You are indeed welcome and needed here.
The Jade Champion sighs with sadness as you deliver Ambrose's warning about Malistaire.
You are too late. The wizard Malistaire already petitioned his benevolent majesty for the spiral key to Dragonspire. When his imperial majesty refused, that foul wizard cruelly wounded him and fled through the gate to Dragonspire. I could not stop him. Only his imperial majesty can grant you the spiral key. But his wound has made him gravely ill. I trust you to keep this a secret. If you wish to use the Dragonspire spiral key, you must restore his benevolent majesty's health. Please speak with Tan King, the High Monk. He can tell you how.
Nothing. It meant absolutely nothing. There's no reason there's a sigil outside this door. Oh, there actually is, but spoilers, basically. Oh yeah, he's dying just on this pedestal over here. Yeah, this is actually one of the more unique aspects of Arc 1 again, where despite having the sigil, it's actually not a resetting instance. It actually is tied to the story. So how it works is, we enter initially here, and we can talk to him. And whenever we come back later, it'll be different. Which is actually one of the only times where a sigil is used like that. Normally it would just be a normal walk in and out of area. Because the way that it works is that this interactable obelisk at the end of the game is actually going to be what resets the instance every time. Which is actually pretty neat. That's just a weird bit of Arc 1 weirdness.
A strange alliance led to the end of Khitan and Manju rule. This book begins.
Might as well grab this book over here too.
The monks who followed Muda spoke out. The samurai servants of the three great clans rose up to free the emperor. The emperor took the name of one of these brave samurai, Heiji. He restored the philosophy of Kaiyang Fuzi to the country, and he opened the spiral only to those most worthy. Ever since, Mooshu emperors have ruled a peaceful land with the help of the clan's samurai and the Muda's monks, who rely on swords and prayers rather than spiral magic.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's like actual Japanese history just replaced around with Mooshu stuff, because that is generally how Mooshu tends to work. It's really just fantasy cow Japan. And goat Japan, I guess. And hypothetically heron Japan too. But we don't actually get to see the herons in Wizard 101. Those are a Pirate 101 exclusive thing, I believe. Speaking of, I scheduled Pirate 101. Wizard 101 for this entire week, but we're actually going to be taking a break from Wizard 101 for 12 days specifically, or maybe 10 days counting the weekend, since I still will be taking the weekend off, because as I posted on Twitter and various other things, and I'm just saying it again here because it's super exciting, one time a year there are 12 days of the spiral, and for every year prior to this we get 12 free-to-play days of this. It's like the Free Wizard City in Crocotopia, but for the entire game, and it's available to everyone, new and old accounts. But what's super exciting is that this year, they're also going to be adding Pirate 101 to that list, which is the first time that it's happened. And they're also going to be resuming new Pirate 101 updates, whatever, right? Those could take some amount of time. But this will actually be my first time playing with Pirate 101, and so in light of that, we're going to be taking a break from Wizard 101 and be replacing everything from the 9th until the 21st is going to be what would normally be Wizard 101 days will instead be Pirate 101 days. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot. But anyways, in light of that, we should also not be taking weird paths. We want to finish Mooshu, hopefully, very quickly.
Thank you for seeking me out. Whether it is your need for the Dragon Spire Spiral Key or the Muda's invisible hand that brought you here, I am grateful for your help, Wizard. We have a large task ahead of us. In order to heal His Imperial Majesty, we must restore his mind, body, and spirit. All is not well. While His Imperial Majesty inwardly fights for purity of spirit, the people fight each other on land. Warlord Katsumori has taken His benevolent Majesty's sword and plunged us into war. I've always believed in the tie between the Emperor and the land, but never witnessed it until now. If we cure His Imperial Majesty's spirit, we may well end the war. Will you help us? The spirit of a samurai resides in his sword, so we must recover His Imperial Majesty's sword from Warlord Katsumori. Samurai Shojiro Gama at Hamatsu Village can tell you more.
So here we are. It's actually brought up a lot in the dialogue, but it's very easy to just kind of gloss over as you kind of mentally zone out and just sort of spacebar spam your way through Mooshu. But yeah, there's an entire civil war going on here, and it's actually very intense, all things considered. But yeah, this is something that once you kind of like look at it, you know, when they were running out of development time with Wizard 101, it kind of stands out, especially in Mooshu, when you just look around and it's just constant plains of nothing but bamboo. Just bamboo everywhere, right? Every place in Mooshu looks like this pretty much. Mooshu has to be like one of the most visually indistinct areas in existence. They reuse these assets constantly throughout it, and it's very noticeable after a while.
Wizard, you arrive at a fateful time. Perhaps with your assistance, the tide of war will turn. We have dishonored His Imperial Majesty. If this village falls, all is lost. Our once peaceful warlord has scattered our forces, and
Gama grimaces as he clutches his side.
I have no strength. I am ashamed to ask. But can you rescue my missing men trapped in the outskirts of the village? Return when you have found them all.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like bamboo.
We are recovering from the last attack. If my wound continues to trouble me, I won't be able to help this village. I hate to ask, but could you bring me goji berries from the forest? They may help my wound.
Sure, I don't see how that works. But then again, I'm no healer. But yeah, I like bamboo, right? You know, I like it. But then, you just look at Mooshu and you have to think, is Mooshu really just like nothing but like 90% bamboo with like the occasional village scattered throughout it? Which again, is one of the more interesting things, because the worlds of the spiral, like Krakatopia, are super tiny, right? In Marleybone, you actually got a good idea of the scale. And then you come to Mooshu, and it just seems like there's endless forests of bamboo, and you have to wonder, how big is Mooshu, relatively speaking? And it's gotta be gigantic.
Esteemed wizard, could you help this humble village? In times of peace, we have a patrol that serves to keep the trolls out of our village. Now, with our men fighting bandits and the warlord's forces, the trolls are making the most of it. Please defeat the trolls and let them know it is still not safe for them to come into the village.
Yeah, Mooshu being gigantic is one of the weird ones. Right, normally you get a good idea of the scale of them, but Mooshu just seems to never end. Caramel has that same weird thing going on, and so does Avalon. Only specific worlds of the spiral seem to have that issue though.
The village is still burning from the attack. We tried our best, but we need help. Please, revered wizard, you must do something. Go to the well for a bucket of water and put out the fires. Our village depends on it.
We are not a revered wizard, we are a magus wizard, but I will take that back. But I will accept that, because revered wizard is a much higher title than what we currently have. But yeah, I tweeted it out initially, but I really want to see more people pick up this game during this 12 days of the spiral. Even if it doesn't get attention, I'll scream about it into the void as much as I can, so everyone can experience the interesting experience that is King's Isle games.
Our food! The Sanzoko bandits have taken all of our food. How will we survive?
If everything
Please,
goes according to
revered
plan,
wizard, take our food back from those bandits, or my family will go hungry.
I would say 12 days is enough time to get addicted. And King's Isle needs the money, and I want to see more people playing the games I enjoy. So it's a win-win, I think. I'm not actually sure how much the free-to-play times have actually helped out the player base though. I've noticed a small spike in numbers usually, but not a significant one. I'm not privy to that information, of course. I don't think anybody is, except for like King's Isle's marketing team. That is to Tatakai Outpost. There's a separate area. But I'm not sure if they just keep doing it because of tradition at this point, or if it actually does help the numbers.
Some water from the well.
Oh right, we need to put out the fires. Completely forgot about that. We'll do that first. You know, we don't want these fires to keep burning forever. Although it is kind of funny that if you don't do the side quest, it really is just burning forever. Thankfully, it seems to be completely self-contained. You know, it doesn't spread, it doesn't really do much of anything. It's just fire that just exists in that one spot at the same size forever. Yes, more Wizard101 VTubers specifically, but even other streamers and more players be great to see. And we can also get this. And that is the last of the fires. Okay, we did it. This guy is over here. There he is. Nice.
You've saved us! Surely you must be sent by His Benevolent Majesty himself. Thank you.
In a sense, yeah. I mean, we're only doing this because of him. And besides that, this is going to be just walking around Mooshu doing the seemingly endless amount of side quests, too. Oh, here we go. This is the bush. I completely forgot what these things even looked like. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually been back to Mooshu. And even longer since I've actually done the side quests, too. Even when I tried to do previous playthroughs where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the side quests, I'd usually get burnt out at some point around Marleyboat. So for me, actually coming back through here is a bit nostalgic. Yeah, Mooshu is actually a very aesthetic area, I think. At least when you first get here. It's very nice to look at.
I would live to see a wizard. Thank you. I can't wait to return and fight.
You know, despite looking same-ish, right, it actually does look like a very nice area. I think the issue is that it looks nice, but then you are stuck here for a few hours, and then when you've come to the same street that looks identical to like the first hour, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of sick of it at this point. Yeah. Another weird thing about the side quests in Mooshu is that there's quite a bit of fights, but there's actually an equal amount of just walking around and handing stuff out quests too. Not as much fighting as you may be expecting from it, is what I'm saying. You know, considering it's a civil war or anything. One of the cool things that gets tackled by it is that because of civil war, you actually end up doing a lot of logistics work. You deliver plans, you help gather supplies, and help establish your supply lines and stuff. It's a pretty unique experience, actually. And it makes some amount of sense in the actual world of the game that you're doing it. And I like it. It's very cool. Although, like I said before, considering the fact that it's a kid's game, it doesn't really go too far into it. So where are the other berries? Right, here's the bush. Yeah, thankfully these things just respawn pretty quickly, so it's not too difficult to just gather them in between battles. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We're starting out with 3 pips every fight at this point pretty much. Which is what I was mentioning before, is that now that we have the Zeus gear, there really isn't going to be any new strategies involved. We're really just going to be doing the same exact stuff every single time. Like, our deck's not going to change, our approach isn't going to change. This is sort of the biggest issue with Wizard101, is the fact that because your abilities in the game are so heavily tied to the stats of your gear, pretty much this is just how you play the game, for the most part. Which is why you also have to really sort of get into the writing of the game, I think. and I did not mean to get pulled into a battle with them. Well, whatever. It doesn't cost me anything to fight them, besides another treasure card. But I can get plenty of those. These things are as easy to get as... Well, actually, they're extraordinarily difficult to get unless you already have a level 100 plus wizard. I shouldn't be saying they're super easy to get, because that's sort of misleading. Because the way that you get these things is... After level 100, you get access to a new librarian, like the one in Wizard City, and they sell these cards for a pretty cheap price, all things considered. And so, when you're a max level wizard, you can just buy a bunch of them and transfer them down to a lower level character. But, unless you get someone to port you there, if you don't have a level 100 wizard, it's actually extraordinarily difficult to get these, because you have to sit at the bazaar for hours, basically, and just hope that somebody just dumps off a huge chunk of them all at once. As is with most things in the bazaar. Although, sometimes you get a funny situation where you end up, because they're so rare, people will actually sell things in the bazaar for, sort of the black market of Wizard101.
You've brought back the food those bandits took from us. Thank you, great wizard. Now we will not starve. Thank you again.
Or it's actually what you more might call like the crypto market of Wizard101, or like the closest thing to it is the empower market. And people will actually sell large quantities of certain things, but if you're lucky, you can actually interfere with the trade. And you kind of feel like a dick after doing it, but it is a very good way to do it. It's just to see when business is going on in the Game of Trading Discord server, and then just bazaar snipe in these deals that are going down, because there's no quality control.
Berries are exactly what I need, and in perfect condition. You do me great service by bringing them.
Don't blame the person who bought the items. Blame King's Isle for not allowing interpersonal trades between two characters.
I'm ashamed to make another request, but the circumstances demand it. I am useless while I am wounded. Would you please take these berries to Lu Song here in the village? You can turn these berries into a healing salve that will heal my wound.
Yeah, King's Isle has made it very clear that they have no intention of allowing people to trade items in between each other, which I'm not entirely sure I understand the reason. I'm not... You know, normally I can figure out a way to exploit those types of things. I still haven't, but, you know, they have made it very clear that they have no intention of changing that.
Yes, I am Lu Song. What have you... Many have come to speak with me, but a wizard is rare. It is my good fortune, since a wizard like you can get the final ingredient more easily.
Interesting that he said rare and not the first time.
To finish the salve, I need the bark of special living trees. Some of these trees have made their home here. Bring me back the bark of some confused forest warriors, and I can finish the salve.
You know, it almost makes it sound like he's encountered wizards before. Which is a bit weird, because I'm not sure how he would have done that. Also, I noticed this. They've actually added some more things to this. So they added this for your spell quests. That's kind of cool. So it lets you know whichever quest is going to give you access to a school spell. And then they also added more gameplay options. I didn't even realize this. There's one where you can show PvP rank. I'm not sure why it's an entire own thing, but I guess they ran out of room here. So, teleport effect. I think that is referring to the pay-to-win teleports, which you get access to from here. Yeah, you have to pay money for them. Like, actual money for these. Yeah, we didn't really get to see it that well. Yeah, there we go. That one looks cool, granted. I'll give you that. It does look kind of cool. But yeah. So I believe that's how you change that. But here's where the really exciting one happens. Well, remember Realm is helpful, but then also we can change our victory dance too, which I want to try out. I want to see. I want to do a Fortnite dances after every battle. I call them Fortnite dances, but technically they are their own thing. They're not specifically tied to Fortnite. Fortnite didn't make them. I actually remember there was some sort of weird controversy that happened where some dude who invented a dance sued Fortnite or something about that. Where he was saying that they stole his dance, and then it was a big question of whether or not you could, like, copyright a dance or trademark one. Which apparently you can.
I'm free.
So they had to actually change it.
I will return to Samurai Gama. You have my thanks, humble that they are.
Because a dance is technically a work of art, as it requires unique sets of motions. It's kind of like how you can trademark a mathematical formula. Because if you're the one who puts in the effort into discovering it, apparently that allows you to trademark it and have some sort of legal claim over it.
You rescued me. What an honor. I can make it back to fight on my own.
Even though hypothetically the thing always existed in some form. But yeah. Thanks to Fortnite, though. These are the Fortnite dances, because these wouldn't have been added into this game if it wasn't for Fortnite. But yeah, we're going to be able to see those very soon. I'm going to go through each and every single one of them. I might as well fight these guys while I'm here. Let's see. Man. I have a 50% chance to start out with 2 power pips. And I don't think I've gotten them a single time when I've started this. No, wait. I did get it once. So let's see. I picked Floss. So where is it? What's it gonna look like? How good is it animated? How well is it animated? Whatever the proper term is for that. Come on, let's see me floss. Oh wait, is it because I'm on my mount? Hold on. We need to get off our mount for this. We lose 2 damage, but whatever, who cares? Right, 2 damage is 2 damage. Nobody cares. Come on. I want to floss. Also, well, in OBS, I'm gonna... There we go. Now it's a Wizard101 stream. While we're playing Wizard101, we wear the hat. I need to remember to put that on more often. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Where is my floss? Flossing animation. Come on, let's do it. Let's see it. Come on. There it is. Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's so stupid looking. Oh, it's so wonky looking too. Oh, kind of at like a weird angle too. Kind of like slightly floating off the ground. That's weird. Okay, so that's a floss. What's poppin'? Although we can activate them from here to see how they work. Where is it? Not that one. Emotes? Here we are. Oh yeah, we can see them here. Oh, that's kind of weird. It actually like angles you off the ground every time you use it. So it puts you at like a 25-degree angle every single time. That's weird. That's bizarre looking. We move like gelatin. Anyways, you get to see it. And I'm glad that they added that in as an actual option, so you can make it permanent too. I'd seen it before, but I've never actually seen the option to change it in battles. But I think that actually has been an option for a while to change your victory dance animation. But I'm glad I found it, because now I get to set it to the very genuinely kind of neat looking bee dance, which is actually a really cool dance too. It's an emotes, and this one's free because this is actually a Wizard101 original too. Yeah, we can't do it on a mount.
An emissary of His Imperial Majesty. If you have cleared the way, I will make it back. Thank you, revered wizard.
Yeah, let's see the bee dance too, because it was added for a Chrysalis quest, which is funny. Which is a funny thing. The world where we're actually going to get our shadow spells. But this one actually I do think looks kind of neat. It's got a weird aesthetic to it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the dance from Majora's Mask whenever you have that. In fact, I think it might actually be the exact same dance now that I'm looking at it. So Majora's Mask, whenever you equip the, I don't know the name of it, but it's the weird one where like it turns your face blank and like it has like a weird like stupid little guy coming halfway out of your head. And whenever you hold the B button, it does a little dance like this. It might actually be the same exact one. I think it looks neat. Anyways, that's enough getting distracted again. I'm only going to be playing Wizard101 for today and then 2 more days this week. So I need to actually make progress in Mooshu while I'm here. So let's get grinding. Put our nose to the grindstone. Really focus on this. At first, troll mercenaries. Okay, there we go. It took like 10 clicks to actually be able to get the quest marked, but there we go, finally. So yeah, in other news, I am still working hard on those emotes, but apparently a lot of the ones that I'm looking at for inspiration, I'm looking at them in the form of Photoshop files. Fortunately, one of them specifically I want to make is actually a free-to-use asset, so I'm going to need to figure out Photoshop and how I can actually work that, because normally I make all of my art in Krita, which is an entirely free drawing and editing program. But because this one specifically is in the form of a template of a Photoshop file, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get my hands on it, or on an editor that can actually use Photoshop files. Because this template has an animated emote, basically. And I think it's a very cool one too. See, I'm working hard on those ones too. I want to be able to upload them to better Twitch TV, so there's actually something that people can use in chat and stuff. In the meantime also, hopefully eventually I'll hit affiliate so I can upload them there too. So I need to make sure they're good ones, so that way they're actually worth using in other channels too. So if there are any more recommendations, I'd appreciate them. Because I already have the nodding one written down, but... and then I have that animated one in mind. But beyond that, I don't really know what sort of emotions I should really use. Because my personal favorite emotes are ones that really capture emotion. You know, they capture primal feelings. They capture, you know, something that doesn't need to actually have words. But they also need to reflect the person behind it. And I don't know what vibe I even really capture.
Ah, as I suspected.
You know.
You were able to get the tree bark faster than I would have. I am impressed that in your journeys you took time to make a healing salve. You are a credit to your school. Just a moment. Your salve will be ready shortly.
You are in fact the biggest credit to our school.
Lu Song folds the
But I
salve
appreciate
into a clay jar and hands it to you.
Folds.
Goji berries are hard to come by, but apparently not for a wizard. If only you wanted a job as an apprentice apothecary. You should take this salve back to Shujiro Gama right away.
Dude, they literally respawn on the bushes every 10 seconds. What are you talking about? But yeah, some of my favorite emotes would have to be, love Cherry's emotes. Is a another VTuber who actually does play Wizard101. And I also added a shoutout command. Oh, whoops. I'm still in the emotes bar. Hold on a second. So she has some very nice emotes. I like them. And why not? We will shout out. There we go. Oh, she's actually apparently live right now and playing Teamfight Tactics. That's weird. And then there's also the other person who goes absolutely nuts with doing like 12-hour streams of Wizard101. There we go. That's all of the Wizard101 streamers I actually know. And apparently they are also live. Dang it. But yes. I like Cherry's emotes. They're actually some of my favorites. I also like gun emotes. Love gun emotes. Love these ones. Yeah, there's lots of emotes I like. So I need to figure out which ones, how to make which ones that I can use. You know, which ones can capture my vibe. I want to make emotes this good, basically.
You found the missing men. I thank you. Perhaps we may yet honor His Imperial Majesty and retrieve his sword. You have brought the salve. I will heal faster and now can focus on helping the village. You have done a great deed. The evil warlord Katsumori stole our weapons, and now my men must combat the enemy with only their bare fists. Katsumori shamefully attacked while we were celebrating the Festival of Lights. If you can retrieve those weapons, we will bring shame upon him. Weapons were in crates, so look for those.
I don't know, man. Fighting them with your fists is pretty cool. I would support you if you just continued using your hands. I'm sure we could figure out something. Like I could use a magic spell to reinforce your fists or something, so you could just beat them up the old-fashioned way. You know, who needs weapons? Your entire body is a weapon.
You defeated the trolls? Alone? Amazing! I would be pleased to patrol with you. Were times better, and the danger not so great. And yet they still come. The trolls have not taken the hint, and I see them coming into the village like they own it. I have heard of Sergeant Grustak, a troll who may be leading them. If you go and defeat him, we can return to the peace and quiet of fighting only 2 enemies.
Dang, the peace of only fighting 2 enemies. That's a heck of a line. Anyways. Are there any more here? Nope, just Tactikai Outpost. Okay, cool. So, Grustak, Troll Trail. He's probably on there. Right? I'd assume. Yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, so you see, like, this is just one section of Mooshu. And this is, like, as big as Krakatopia itself. Very unfair that Mooshu is just so much bigger than every other world. You know, they have more potential to do stuff. Oh, right, the crates. Remember to grab these. Yeah, Mooshu is apparently one of the highlights of Wizard101. So for as lame as it is here, hopefully it'll actually be pretty cool in Pirate 101. We'll actually get to explore it a little bit.
You are not fit to join my ranks. Begone, wizard!
What the? I completely forgot they actually talked like that. All the other trolls have like a very similar voice style, so why does he speak like that? It's so weird. I wasn't expecting him to have the same sort of weird, vaguely Asian accent. Okay. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty simple strategy where it's going to be the 1 Sandstorm, 1 Judgment thing. Yeah. Mooshu is apparently a lot better in Part 101, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that apparently everything is better in Part 101. It's actually so bad that even Kingsisle themselves, apparently, in Lemuria, even made a quest called Pirate Combat is Better. Because they were, I'm not sure what reference it is, because I've tried to avoid spoilers for it as much as possible. But when you're following a bunch of Wizard101 related accounts, it's kind of difficult, right? But that one was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. Despite not understanding the reference, right, as to why Pirate Combat is better, it really does hype it up a lot. Because the people who like Pirate 101 are just as much, if not more, dedicated to it than the people who play Wizard101. Because Wizard101 had a lot more immediate appeal. It had like a lot of TV commercials and stuff, so lots of people had heard about it when they were young. Pirate 101 did not get the same treatment, and then just didn't get any updates, so it got one of the weirdest cult followings I think I've ever seen. Like, everyone who follows it is so dedicated to it and insists that it is one of the best games that you could possibly play. So I am looking forward to that. Of course, nothing can beat nostalgia for
You
me.
look like you just defeated a troll. Thank you, esteemed wizard. You made it possible for us to focus on our real enemies.
Another day, another level. That's nice. Man, we really do have 21 universal damage. Nice.
With these weapons now back in the hands of my men, Warlord Katsumori will regret attacking us. Thank you, Wizard. I've learned that forces of the vile Warlord Katsumori are gathering to attack. They expect us to be weak. I don't want to reveal our strength just yet. What we need is a secret attack by a small group, or a wizard. Could you defeat several bandits and outlaws? That will buy us time to regroup.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, so take the relative amount of side quests that Marleybone had and then add those to, like, double the overall amount of individual streets that you go down, and that is why Mooshu has so many of them. Unfortunately, though, Mooshu does not give much actual experience, so we're not going to get access to any of the Grandmaster spells, not even by the time we finish this place. At least I don't think so. Be unlikely. Okay, let's just discard, draw, do. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Wait, that's another thing. I have a YouTube channel, and it has VODs on it. But unfortunately, due to my internet issues, I am now dreading having to upload the remaining bits of it. And there isn't being. I have to do the #1 dreaded thing that I've known about having to do this entire time, but just never attempted before, which is editing. Editing seems super painful, especially since, I mean, I don't have Photoshop, and I also don't have After Effects. I mean, and they're super expensive, right? So, actually getting access to the good stuff is going to be a bit difficult. But yes, when I finally gather up the courage to edit, I think I'll finally be able to upload the rest of my VODs to there. More importantly, I also have a video that is basically ready, it just needs to be edited. I don't know why, but I just do not have it in me to edit right now. Because I've never done it before. I don't have the courage or the willingness to attempt it. Although that apparently is a very common thing. Because editing, like coding, is very tedious. Not in terms of actually applying it, but more so just learning how to do it. And then it becomes tedious to apply it. I've actually done a little bit of coding before. I was messing around with game engines. I wonder if I can kill them with an unenchanted sandstorm. Let's see. Okay, never mind. I guess we'll go for the Hydra instead. But yeah. I did a little messing around with game engines, and coding is actually a lot more simple than you'd expect. But at the same time, it's also so much more tedious to have to then go through the libraries. Okay, never mind, pip failed. Yeah, it's a lot more tedious to learn than you'd expect, but then once you learn it, you're like, oh yeah, this isn't that difficult, and then it becomes super difficult to actually apply to. It's so weird. It's like two different phases, and we cannot. Okay. Yes, I want to start uploading regular YouTube videos as well. It's just actually getting over that hump. And unfortunately, Reddit, despite having people constantly willing to jump on and give you advice, has not actually given me any. It's given me any confidence to attempt it. Normally, you'd have somebody you like commission for this sort of stuff, like, oh, you know, you'd have like an editor, or you'd commission somebody for emotes and stuff. But unfortunately, I'm a very do-it-all-yourself kind of person. Man. Yeah. Hold on, give me a minute. While I was taking a sip of my coffee, I ended up choking on it. And so I'm kind of dying here. But I am trying to do my best to continue my thoughts. Oh man. And my back hurts too, so every time I cough, it reinvigorates that pain too. Oh, this is the worst. Today has just been a very unlucky day. Because, also on my phone, too. It's been, like, loose for a few days, but my phone is in very bad shape. It's, like, super cracked up. It's, like, missing the entire, like, bottom right quarter of its screen. Basically. Well, actually, not really. It's only, like, a small chunk of the bottom right corner. It's missing the glass from it. The, little pressure-sensitive thing is still there, so it still works. Wait, these guys are balanced. And now we threw a balance shield. Oh no. But yeah. That too. But then the little power button thing that you use to like take screenshots, which I think is what it's mostly used for because I can still unlock it from the touchscreen. But I can't turn off the screen anymore, and I also can't take screenshots with it until I get that button fixed. That is why I don't commission anybody. You know, I don't commission people. I don't hire people, and because I can't buy Adobe products because I am just very, very poor. Understand, please understand. If things take a long time, that is the reason. Right? Can't even repair my phone either. So yes, it's going to take a while, but I am working on it. Believe me. And here we go. Let's try this out. Is this going to kill them? Please. Yes. Yes, it did it. Finally. Man, Mooshu has such good music. I mentioned it before, but I'll keep mentioning it again. Because the music fades into the background as it should. That's what background music is for. But I do very much enjoy it. What else I enjoyed a lot, which was very nice, because to be honest, I wasn't sure if it would live up to the hype, because people talked about it when it was like brand new, but then it kind of died out, which in my opinion is usually how I normally gauge things get super popular, is I see whether or not people are still talking about it years later, or months later, usually at least. But Spider-Man was actually very much something that lived up to the hype somewhat. It was super duper fun, and so I think I'm actually going to play it again later on tonight. I really enjoy the combat system, even though I suck at in-depth combo systems. I don't play fighting games, I don't play Devil May Cry. I picked up Devil May Cry for like an hour, and then I was like, either the combat system is really boring and samey, or I'm just really, really bad at it. which could have been either one, frankly, because I don't think I had any of the moves unlocked at that point yet, because I was stuck in the very first room for like 30 minutes. But I'm generally not in the games like that. But Spider-Man, because it's all available right at the very beginning, and it has so many variations, I was actually able to get into it somewhat near the end. So, on top of that, it was also super stylish. But yeah, I'm planning on playing that again later tonight, and I very much enjoyed it. Although, that's its own thing. The actual reason I brought it up is because I just remembered when I was looking over and seeing my stream tags, I remembered that it was question whether or not you can backseat, and the answer to that is yes, absolutely, please.
Say no more. I have seen your results. While the enemy's forces scatter, our men grow stronger. You do it. I know this warlord Katsamori well. He always wanted to stand against his benevolent majesty, and stole his sword when we least expected it.
I keep accidentally pressing the skip button.
To defeat him, we must know his actions ahead of
So
time by
embarrassing.
intercepting his orders. While my men fight for every inch, you are best equipped to slip behind enemy lines and take the orders from the courier. Bring them back here.
Yes, I am not so prideful as to say that no, I put the tag there for a reason. Because it really is true that your IQ is decreased dramatically whenever you... Oh, here's the blue claim. Yeah, whenever you're doing stuff, your IQ will decrease dramatically, or you'll just kind of zone out, right? Which makes it very difficult to actually do even the most basic stuff sometimes. Especially when you're, like, tired on top of it. So, I believe it was Owl was asking whether or not it's okay to, you know, jump in and tell me what to do, and the answer is yes. Especially if you see me struggling. Please don't just sit in silence. If you feel the need or urge to scream out that I'm doing something wrong, I will gladly take on any sort of advice or help I can get. Because a lot of the time, especially in Spider-Man, it was my first time playing and I had no idea what I was even doing. In this game, not so much. I'd say I'm a lot better at being able to give out advice for this game, more so than I could take it. But even this game, I still don't know a lot of things. Like, if I were going to do PvP on stream or something, and I was using an absolutely terrible deck, I would totally accept advice on that. Because I don't know how PvP works. I don't know how the meta works. I don't know how to play it. I don't like playing it either. So I don't really want to learn too much. But yes, since that got brought up, I wanted to mention that every single one of the tags I put is also relevant. I try to keep them relevant for every individual stream, to keep the expectations set at an appropriate level. So yeah, I did appreciate the jumping in and helping part a lot. I appreciated it. But yeah, that all ties back to Spider-Man. Those are all interconnected. Those are not two separate thoughts. Me wanting to play Spider-Man again and me being okay with backseating are two of the same ideas. Man, I am really terrible at timing out music. I'm just going based on my memory. I remember all the notes being a lot closer together. You know, Spider-Man also seems like the issue with Spider-Man, right? Is that it actually seems like a really good game I could put like songs over, like song requests and like other types of music over, or just like something to put into the background. But since I have to use the PS4 native streaming with it for now, the issue is I just can't do that unless I literally just blast it through my microphone like manually. So it's a very sad thing because I feel like Spider-Man is the perfect background game.
You have the orders.
like Dark Souls, right? It's not like Wizard 101 where
He reads the orders with an expression of great concern.
there's constant like dialogue popping up like every 5 seconds. So I don't want to talk over it or put anything over it, which isn't too much of an issue because like I mentioned multiple times, Wizard 101 music is absolutely fantastic. But for a game like Spider-Man where there seems to be like a lot of downtime, I really wish I could put something like that over it.
Very informative. Someone dishonors us. There is a spy within our ranks reporting to the enemy. These orders don't reveal the spy, but he reports to Dodaga, one of Warlord Katsumori's worst warlords. Warlord Katsumori has ordered him to attack our weak flank.
Wait, the Warlord has a Warlord? How many tiers of Warlords are there? I assume there was just a single Warlord.
If my men attack him, the Warlord will know we have intercepted these orders.
Which Warlord?
Only you can defeat Dodaga to stop the attack, esteemed wizard.
Okay, anyways. Yeah, this is actually what I was mentioning before, though, that it's very easy to look over because, you know, you might be zoned out while you're playing normally. But the side quests and even main quests you're doing are actually all tied to actually fighting like an actual civil war. And so the actions you're doing during it all make sense. Yeah, sometimes I get the urge to listen to certain songs on stream. Or listen to certain things, or just generally kind of vibe out to something else. But while we're doing the story, I really want to be able to capture it in Wizard 101. So I think I need another game that I could do that with. Since Spider-Man is super fun to play, and it's like the perfect game for it, without a capture card or trying out remote play. You know what? I might actually do that. After today's Wizard 101 stream, I might try out remote play. And so if that one actually manages to stream somewhat well, I might actually be able to do what I'm talking about. In which case I'll have to set up a song request thing. But yeah, hopefully that'll allow a little bit more interesting music to be played during it. Especially since it's around Christmas time. You know, I need to find time to be able to blast All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey for an entire stream. You know, because that is unironically one of my favorite songs of all time.
Your
You know.
skills are mediocre at best. Too bad you may see some real fighting only once before your defeat.
Now hold on a second, we are anything but mediocre. I'll have you know that we are very much so above mediocre. I'm not sure what the term exceptional is. That a good enough word? I feel like even exceptional is a bit of an understatement for what we are. But yes, we are well above mediocre. This guy's rude. You know, I'm just out here vibing. You know, I'm coming in here to kill him, and then oh great, he put up a tower shield. Okay, this is gonna go poorly. I can already sort of tell. Let's see. And oh, I said vibe him. We're here to kill him. Like we're here to actually literally kill him. But interrogate him first. We need to interrogate him, find out who the spy is, and then we kill him. Right, but yeah. I feel like that would allow for some more fun during the streams. And I also want to play some Christmas music. Yeah, All I Want for Christmas Is You is a slept-on Christmas song, and I feel like it's because a lot of retail workers have to hear it constantly blasted. But I do that every single Christmas anyways. No. For me, I'm not sure if anyone else has ever actually done it. But I can assure you, All I Want for Christmas Is You has one of the best build-ups and payoffs of any song. I'm not super familiar with musical terms, so I'm not sure what the actual words for it are. But the way the instrumentals come together with the beat drops, or whatever you might call it, is masterful, frankly. And it entirely deserves its reputation as one of the most played ones. Right. And yeah, I know, you have PTSD because you've been working 12-hour shifts at your Walmart or whatever, and you have to hear it over the speakers. But especially if you're drinking, it provides an experience like no other. Please. Okay, we have to enchant another woman. Yeah, I can assure you that it's actually a way better song than you might be expecting, or you might think. Especially whenever you hear the Soulja Boy remix. You know, if we have some downtime, I might actually just play that. We might play that actually if I have the, if we have the time. If we have some downtime in between talking to these NPCs. Because they always have something interesting to say, you know. A lot of effort went into writing and voicing them. I respect this game. I have respect, so I won't cut them off by playing my meme songs. But for some other game, like, I don't know, Dark Souls or something, right? One where nothing important is happening, nobody says anything interesting, it's just completely in the background. Right?
You have defeated Dodaga? Excellent! You have secured the village, fighting for it as if it were your own.
One where you just kind of shut off your brain, that's the kind of game I'm talking about. And for that stream, I'll play my
It's only a matter of
meme
time
Christmas
before the
songs.
spy reports our efforts to retrieve the sword. We must be stationed at the outpost up ahead, which has just been overrun. I can only trust you with this matter. Go speak with Sanasai. He's become the leader there, though I doubt his skills. Help him if you can, and find the spy.
Alright. Now we need to go find the spies like us. What? That sounds like a reference to something, but I'm not getting it. Spies like us. Wait, did I not grab that book? I didn't grab that book. Okay, never mind. We're going straight back for that thing. Hopefully we can just avoid the fight again. But I'll do it. I'll beat him up again. Why not? Yeah, throw that out. Where is it? This one. It's the Outlaw Hideout. You're not gonna lose these books. It's funny because I mentioned it as soon as I walked in and then I immediately forgot. This is what I'm talking about. Right? Feel free to yell at me if I'm forgetting something like that. I mean, it might not help because I am very fast paced, but I would appreciate it. Yeah, it looks like we can just walk around them. Is this actual bamboo in the floors? Is this like an actual thing that happens in like houses? Where they just put uncarved bamboo just into the floors? Like I've heard of bamboo mats, but that's made of woven strips of bamboo. Not like the actual like rickety, thick, very smooth and difficult to walk on stalks of what looks like raw bamboo too. It's like freshly cut.
Centuries of peace led to one of the greatest periods in Mooshu history, begins this volume.
Like it's not even like brown and old dried out bamboo either. It's like freshly cut green bamboo. Do they have to cut this stuff every single morning?
During Emperor Suong's rule, the people of Mooshu began developing magic, not just for officials, but for commoners as well. The Mooshu rediscovered the spiral. During Emperor Suong's rule, the people of Mooshu began developing magic, not just for officials, but for commoners as well. The country thrived with new ideas and art. Mooshu rediscovered the spiral and welcomed trade from other worlds. Treaties between neighboring worlds fostered a spirit of friendship and cooperation.
Beautiful. Love learning about the history of Japan, I guess. Because a lot of the names that they're referencing sound familiar. They're just replaced with cow names. So I believe it really is just the unabridged, or the abridged history of Japan. Just replaced with Mooshu. Yeah, also magic. Also magic. Yeah, we can't forget the magic. Yeah, this is what I was actually mentioning before, where they're actually using like normal weapons. So, not everyone in the spiral fights with weapons, right? The people of Mooshu do not use magic. They already clarified that. Whenever we're fighting them, they're using magic. So why is that? It's not because they're using magic. They can use magic, but they don't use it for combat anymore. From their perspective, they're using their weapons. It's from our perspective that they're a magic tool.
Gamma sent you. He doesn't trust me, and perhaps he's right. We've been overrun since I took charge. Nevertheless, I'll take what help I can get. We have to take back this outpost, or the enemy will prevent you from getting His Imperial Majesty's sword. I must prove myself to Samurai Gamma.
Sanusai purses his lips as he ponders his next move.
I think we should scout out the enemy towers to learn what they have. If you visit all the towers and report back, I can focus on regrouping my men.
Got it. So here we are now performing actual espionage, you know, like a real war soldier.
I am just a commoner, so please forgive my poor manners. My son said he saw earth spirits rampaging in the forests, and we hold their spirits in the highest regard.
Man, this keyboard is so sensitive.
Others of their condition. I must be sure my son spoke the truth, and I can't ask anyone else. Could you go into the forest and seek them out? If you find these rampaging earth spirits, please lay them to rest, so that they might rejoin the soil in which they were born.
Yeah, I really like this mechanical keyboard. It's very clickety-clackety, right? I like new things. It's very novel, right? My only issue with it is that the slightest amount of pressure from my hands, and after having it for like 2 weeks at this point, or not even, it's actually only been like a week and a half maybe, but yeah, is that even the slightest, like ever so slight adjustment of my hand on it will cause it to press the space bar. And since I like to keep my thumb on it at all times, it's kind of an issue. Because sometimes I shift in my seat, you know? Although, I suppose I could do a like trigger discipline where I just never have my finger directly on the key. You know, just always have it off to the side. Keyboard discipline, I guess you'd call it. And so many balanced enemies. Look at them. Walking around here, just running around like they own the place, knowing that I can't actually do full damage to them. Is this not a scout tower? Hold on. I could have sworn it was. Where are they? No, they're over here. Oh, right, they're on the sidewalk area. Okay, this is very awkward. Yeah, you can't see it, but there actually are like little sidewalk areas that you can come through safely, but it's not very clear. Okay, well here's number 2. So, where's number 1? It's further in. Okay, got it. Alright, so here's number 1. Where is our NPC for more side quests? He should be near here. Oh, scout tower number 3 is farther away. Oh, whatever. I'll just... Lily Ma is not in this direction. Yeah, you see, this is about where the bamboo starts to get a little bit greater, right? It still looks nice, right? But look at it. It's all bamboo. It's literally all just bamboo. That's it. That's all Mooshu is. And so, it's been speculated that when they were releasing the initial drop of Wizard101, that this was the place where they were like, you know what, we're just out of time.
Esteemed wizard, I need your help. I'm desperate. I need a pass to get out of the war zone and back to my family. They will only give me a pass if I offer a medallion in exchange, but I have none. Please, revered wizard, could you get a medallion from the mercenaries for me?
Oh great, we have to fight the bounce enemies then. Alright. Now, they're all in the ancient burial grounds. That's surprising. That's one of like the latest areas in Mooshu too. Is that actually connected to here? It's not, so it's kind of weird that it's showing up already. But whatever. So we're gonna have to hydro these guys. No option. They are going to be way too bulky if we try to sandstorm them. Okay, one more bounce blood. Hopefully we do not get another white pip, I swear. If we do, I'm gonna be so mad. Come on. Let's do this quickly. First drop, dude. Come on. Let's see it. Perfect. Now all we need to do is get the medallion first try, and this will be not as painful as I'd have expected. Because you just know, walking into a fight with bound zombies, that pain is going to be the number one thing you expect. Another thing I got spoiled on in Lemuria is they apparently use the steel pip spells constantly, and they mana burn you, and they do everything in their power to make sure that you just don't have pips. If they shield too, well, let's just say Lemuria might not even be possible. Just shadow spells. Because apparently, King's Isle decided to take their idea of vamping up the difficulty for Arc 4 very, very, very seriously. But we still got our first try, so that's nice. Yes, for as much as I've been... come on, please. Please. I just want to turn this in. Yeah, for as much as I've tried to avoid the spoilers, they've been mentioning it a lot on Twitter. Please. I just want to get this quest over with, please. Don't keep drawing me into fights. Okay, there we go. Finally. You know, it's actually not all that bad. Because the Zeus gear does actually make it a lot easier to deal with this. I don't know why I'm complaining so much. Oh, nice, we got a pink dandelion.
Ah, such a fine medallion. You humble me with your kindness. I'm supposed to deliver the medallion to Hinjin, but I fear the danger of going alone. Would you honor me again, revered wizard? Please take the medallion to Hinjin, so I can get the pass I was promised.
To Lily? What? Is she gonna betray us? I don't get it. But yeah. I find it funny that the 12 Days of the Spiral, which is going to be one of the bigger events and traditions of the year, right, has not been advertised at all, despite the fact that it's in 2 days. Or it's going to start in 2 days. And instead, what King's Isle chooses to advertise instead are just non-stop bundles, as they usually do. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they're actually hurting for money or anything, or if they just like to do it. Because if it were me in charge of the marketing, I would preferably be putting the 12 Days of the Spiral as much as possible. And it's one of the rare opportunities to try something free.
Setting up this ambush, you will not survive this.
Aw, Lily. Come on. Come on, Lily. You shouldn't have done that. You know, just because you're not... Oh, I guess she is on the sidewalk, so she's safe. By the laws of the Spiral, I cannot brutally murder her for betraying me. But I would. And then I would eat her. Because she's probably delicious. You know, she's nice and plump. She's made of beef. But yeah, that's one thing that people were mentioning, is that a lot of this bundle stuff started whenever they brought in a new community director. Not community director, I don't remember what specific title they did. But after they did that, they started advertising the new bundles non-stop, which are total rip-offs, by the way. I wouldn't recommend buying the bundles. I mean, the biggest issue with them is that they're not even like pay to win in a weird way like the teleporters. Instead, what they give you access to is The pack ones are arguably okay because the drop rates on those are so poor, right? Like, I still do not have a primeval hammer, which is the best wand for your characters if you also use the pet. But some of these bundles are just outrageous because they just give you absolute trash. So, like this one, right? It gives you access to the Polaris Express, which I think is actually unique. The Winter Glide skates, which are something you can get for free. They give you access to 3 wooden skeleton keys, and they also give you access to Mega Snack Packs. Mega Snack Packs are useless since you can craft the best Mega Snacks, and the Mega Snack Packs aren't even like guaranteed Mega Snacks, they just give you access to like a chance of them. The Ice Flow Siren I think is actually a decent pet. Maybe. The Winter Glide skates are dropped for free by, what's his name? Vigilant Drillo? No, that's a normal boss. What's his name? Omen Strybog, that's his name. Let me see what the Ice Flow Siren gives, because it does sound familiar. But then you also get access to the Wooden Skeleton Keys, Stone Skeleton Keys, and Gold Skeleton Keys, which are kind of useful, right? You can use them. Okay, never mind. The Ice Flow Siren is also garbage. It only gives you access to an Ice Blade and then a Siren's item card, which is a 7-bit storm spell, so you can't even use it on your Ice character. And it gives you access to Skeleton Keys, which are also free. So basically everything except for the Polaris Express mount is totally free to get. And the issue is that 100 crowns is like equivalent to $1, basically. I think. Because they don't do the super crown sales anymore, so you can't even get them. So even if you buy them at the cheapest price, which is $100, you get 800 crowns for $1, right? Although if you buy them at like normal price, yeah, it's like 500 crowns for $1. So at a normal price, at the most expensive, it would be 500, or no, it would be 17,250 divided by 500. Yeah, so that's $35, right? $35 for basically a mount, right? And the rest of which you can get for free. Right, same with these, which just gives you a single mount and a Mega Snack Pack, is 6,000 crowns, which is over $10. So yeah, these are absolute garbage. Right, do not buy the bundles, ever, please. Again, I cut it off for another short rant. I keep getting distracted. But I was just looking on Twitter to see if King's Isle had put up the advertisement for the 12 Days of the Spiral yet, and they did not. And then I saw the bundles, and I got a little bit upset, you know? Because it was being brought up that, oh cool, we got the Scout Tower 3. But, yeah. They did that after they brought in this new director of advertising or something like that. And they're from EA. And so it kind of tracks, right? That the guy from EA would, focus entirely on the pay-to-win stuff. But, yeah. That's very disappointing.
I am so pleased you survived.
Lily hangs her head, ashamed to look at you.
I should just behead you with my narwhal. Or just like stab you with it.
Forgive me, revered wizard. I thought turning you into the enemy was the only way to get a pass. I need the pass so my husband can rejoin the forces at the front. But the enemy is after him. I thought to trick you for his sake, but instead I have brought shame on myself for my... Without Hinjin, the only way to get a pass is from Ashikata himself. If you can forgive me, could you defeat him and bring me back the pass? My husband depends on it.
Watch this be another ambush. Just a backup ambush. In case we got weakened from the first one. And I don't know. Maybe she's really sorry. Maybe. Potentially. Possibly. But who knows? But yeah. King's Isle does not make the smartest moves. Or it does whatever moves it thinks that it's necessary at this point. But they are bringing back Part 101, so who knows, maybe. Maybe it's a turnaround for them. But they are still releasing...
Let me show you what pain truly is.
Absolutely awful bundles for $35 for trash. Like actual garbage. But pack ones are maybe okay though, because if you're willing to buy the packs in the first place, you're gonna have to buy more than like 10, which is I think usually what they sell them at, so that actually is like a legitimate discount, I guess. But everything else is just garbo. It's trash. Do not buy them ever. Please, I'm begging you. From like the bottom of my heart, do not support it. Okay, so yeah, we'll do the same thing as we did before, which will be a sandstorm. Okay, so should we Sandstorm or should we Hydra? Well, he has an ice shield up and we don't want to risk it, so Sandstorm. Sandstorm it is. Thank you for the weakness, by the way. Just, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so now Judgment should be able to finish this guy off pretty easily. Actually, now that I think about it, I only vaguely remember this, but I actually believe they might have changed the old Dragonspire theme. For combat, that is. Because mentioning how cool it was, but now that I'm remembering it, I believe they might have changed it. Which they also did with the Wizard City combat theme. In which case, the entire time we're in Dragonspire, I'm just gonna have the blast for that. Because it is way too good. It's so climactic. It really sounds like the battle theme of the final world. I believe they changed it and they kind of nerfed how epic it sounded. So, we'll have to see when we get there. For now though, it's still Mooshu. It's still this place. It's just Mooshu. But that's about all you can say about this place. It's Mooshu. You know, it's just Mooshu. Mooshu really is the mediocre world.
I feared you would not return after what I did. You honor my husband and me. Thank you, revered wizard. I pray for your victory and well-being.
Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna have to take her at her word. That she's being honest this time. So, who knows? Yep, still ancient burial grounds. That guy's in the Cave of Solitude, which is way later. Or maybe not. I actually forget how much later the Cave of Solitude is. I believe the burial grounds is actually like the last major area.
A lot of supplies, you say?
And then you move on to the last portion of Mooshu.
The enemy must have good supply lines. If we were to cut them, his forces would be weakened and wither. My men are fighting in the outskirts. I would be grateful if you would speak with Shai Feng nearby and determine how to cut the enemy's supply lines.
Oh, but actually, fun fact, if you're unfamiliar, but we'll wait until after we talk to this guy.
Sonasai was smart to send you. I know how to cut supply lines, but I don't have the military force to do so. I left my family to volunteer here, so the sooner we cut the supplies, the better. Excuse my boldness, revered wizard. They've hoarded their supplies throughout the area. If you can get past the guards, can you destroy their supplies?
Man, cutting off supply lines, that's pretty cool. It's very elite spy of us. We're really like a max level infiltrator already too. Add that to our list of titles. But yeah, one of the cool things about Mooshu, although it's also a ripoff, because is it still in the store? It might be. They've removed packs before, but I'm not sure if it is. Oh, welcome. TSR Blacks, I guess I'd pronounce that. Yeah, sorry if I got that wrong. Yeah, oh, here it is. Yep, the Ninja's Lore Pack. All of the lore spells in there you can get for free from Mooshu, and I believe one of the bosses here drops ninja pigs. We can also get Samurai later. But yes, thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? Yeah. Yes, welcome. But we'll fight these guys really quick. But we can get Samurai here, which is, technically speaking, you can just farm and get spellments and craft it. Good, how are you? Oh yeah, I'm doing relatively well. I'm still choking a little bit on my coffee, but, you know, that is something we can work past. did they change it so you're farming the spellments now? Because in my experience, back when I was still farming them, I believe that the ninja spells dropped completely. Oh, no? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Ninja's Lore pack is a complete ripoff. Spellments can be used to make spells too? Yeah, they can. But the Ninja Lore spells specifically is what I was saying. Is you can access to Ninja Pigs from, I believe, one of the bosses here. And then you can also grind out Samurai from a boss in one of the later dungeons. And Samurai technically outdamages Judgment for an equal amount of pips. So that would technically be our best 5-pip spell here. But yeah, spellments are generally how you want to go. Speaking of, I believe you actually can get the Reindeer Knight spellments from Lore Master right now too. I think the holiday drops are also available there now, which is always good to do in advance. Like, even if you don't have an ice character, getting a max level Reindeer Knight right off the bat is very helpful. That is another Wizard101 tip from Wheelie. Yeah, besides that, these guys are small, weak stuff. You don't know much stuff about Mooshu? Oh, okay. Welcome. So, are you a new player, or are you a old player who just kind of skipped through Mooshu? Because there are many different kinds of experiences. Experience levels is. You're in Chrysalis? Oh, okay. That's actually very exciting. Chrysalis is where we want to be. Did Mooshu already, but he didn't focus on it? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, Mooshu is basically all just bamboo. I've been saying that pretty much the whole stream. Oh yeah. There's really not too much to say about Mooshu besides the availability of the first crafted spells and the dropped spells, which is very unique to Mooshu, I think. Because besides skeleton key bosses, Mooshu is the only one that drops lore spells, I believe, for free from regular bosses. And that's the reason why I brought it up. It's just another weird little bit of Arc 1 that just never really got brought over to later stuff. But yeah, and Chrysalis. Yeah, Chrysalis is where I want to be. Because this is still technically supposed to be the Shadow Mage playthrough. So it's very exciting that we're ending up closing on Arc 1. So yeah, good luck with Chrysalis, by the way. Chrysalis drove me insane. At one time, the first time I went through it, I didn't realize that it was 2 separate parts. And so what ended up happening was, I ended up beating part 1. About to be finished for the 6th time. Oh jeez. Wait, for the 6th time? Oh, you've already done 6 wizards? Man. But yeah. My first time going through Chrysalis, I beat part 1, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish Chrysalis in a single night, and so I stayed up for 15 hours straight, just doing Chrysalis quests. All done with Lemuria? Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't touched Lemuria at all, and I've been trying to avoid spoilers, because I have my max wizards, obviously, and I can go do it, but then I was like, you know what, I'm playing through this, so I might as well react to it blind while I'm, you know, playing this. It'll take a while to get there, but hopefully by then all the whatever balance patching they'll need to do will be done by then too. Yeah, I've heard Lemuria is pretty difficult.
You found the Earth Spirits? And did you lay them to rest? Thank you for doing so. It was a kindness. We must have angered the Earth Spirits. If others were to hear about this, their morale would fall, and we could lose the battle. Maybe you can help. My mother once served at a nearby temple. She told me if you look at the soil from an Earth Spirit, you can learn what troubles it. Could you go back into the forest and take the soil from the Earth Spirits? No one would question your reasons for doing so.
Oh, come on, really? We just got finished with that. Anyways, yeah, 5 max wizards. Yeah, I think you're actually the first very experienced player that I've actually seen in my chat so far. Yeah, which is surprising. Most of the people who I've seen come in are usually relatively new, so I like to hand out tips whenever I can. I thought, yeah. Lemuria, from what I have seen, does seem kind of cool, but at the same time I've also heard it's complete nonsense with how much they ramped up the difficulty. How would you rate it in terms of difficulty? Because in the course of this playthrough, after we obtain the shadow spells from Chrysalis Part 2, we are going to attempt to solo the rest of the game with them. And I already don't think some of them are going to be possible, but assuming we can, I'm not sure. It feels easier than Caramel? Really? That is the complete opposite from what I have heard so far. Although I guess Caramel actually was a bit weird in terms of difficulty. Yeah, from what I've heard, especially during test roll, a lot of people were complaining about the fact that the enemies would use constant hip draining spells on you, and they will also hit you really hard, really fast with a lot of high pip spells constantly. So soloing also became a lot more difficult. So I'd be surprised if it was like that much easier than Caramel. Just based on what I've heard. Well, it'd probably be best to stop asking questions now, so I don't get spoiled too much. Okay. So that's 2 out of 4. I do really like that they buffed the drop rates on these. I can't mention enough how good of a quality life change that is. Because doing these quests used to be so painful. Oh. Can we kill them with no blades? That is the question. We already have the enchant, but I'm not sure it'll do 675 without a blade. Let's see. Oh, just barely enough. Fantastic. Alright, there we go. We're done again. And this is our last supply crate. So that should be about it for this area of Mooshu, but I do need to find the clam, wherever that is. Because there is one in here, I think. Yeah, there is. So we need to keep our eyes peeled. And look around every pixel of this little street. We need to find that clam. And the book, eventually. Is there a book in here? There isn't. Okay. So there's just a clam.
I'm glad you destroyed the supplies, Wizard. I'll tell you why. Warlord Katsumori always threw a generous feast for the Festival of Lights. But this time, he destroyed his own celebration. Who knows what Warlord Katsumori planned for those supplies? You brought the soil. Now, we will see how much I remember of what my mother taught me. While you were destroying the supplies, they sent out supply runners to get more. Defeat the supply runners, or this battle will never end. You can do this when you are ready, of course, but time is of the essence.
Shai Feng speaks a word over the soil and taps it twice.
You have your magic, and we have ours. If you believe in the necessity of healing the damaged spirits of Earth, may I make one more request? Take this soil and place it on Stormbreaker, the leader of the Earth Spirits. It should calm all of them down, and none in the village will know the Earth Spirits were afflicted.
You know, in a world full of those Inigo Montoya tier accents that a lot of the characters are doing, I actually really like that guy's voice acting. I think he's doing a pretty good job, all things considered. I like how gravelly it is. And he's actually speaking relatively normally. It's not super exaggerated or anything. Mooshu really is the most middling world in that regard. There's only occasionally good voice actors. Some of them aren't that good. It's just a lot of nothing. It's a whole lot of bamboo and then nothing. It's just the gate to get the Dragonspire, that's it, really.
You have no power over me. You will be broken.
Unless you actually like Mooshu, in which case, I gotta say, that's pretty based. If you like Mooshu, and it's actually like your favorite world. Because it takes a certain kind of person with more appreciation for such things than I am capable of having in order to be able to actually like this place more than any other world. You know, the blades weren't necessary to kill the enchanted sandstorm, but I do kind of like the double blade sandstorm into a judgment, because the pips I have built up at that point make it an instant kill. There we go. Alright, so we are making actually pretty decent progress in Mooshu, and my back is also starting to feel better. So hopefully I'll be able to actually start shifting around my chair a little bit more. I'm locked into weird positions all day
Sprinkle the
since it started.
soil over Stonebreaker.
Thank you for clearing my mind. These war pigs can be so troublesome.
So, did they like brainwash you, or were you just like really mad? I'm still not entirely sure why you were being so combative in the first place. It sounds like he was just upset at the pigs. But the way he acts and the fact that we had to use like magical soil makes it a bit weird. I think that he was just doing it for the pigs and wasn't like brainwashed or something. Since my back is feeling better, that coffee made me need to take a quick bathroom break actually, so I will BRB after we turn in this quest. Just really quick. It's very subtle, but I do like that water flowing sound effect too. It's extraordinarily subtle.
You've done it. It looks like the magic of the commoners works, though it is not so powerful as the spells of a wizard like you.
Shaifeng bows low.
Whatever bewitched the spirits will pass now, thanks to you.
Cool. Got a new deck too. So it's basically the same exact one, just with a few more cards. But yeah, another quick tip before I BRB. I mentioned before how you can craft the mega snacks, and one of the most necessary ingredients is actually here. They're called blackberry jellyfish. Okay. And they are much more easily accessible in one of the pay-to-win houses, but if you want to do it normally and you don't have access to it, that's called the Arrow Village, which is the house, which you can go through house and doors. But if you want to get them the good old-fashioned way, this is the only area in the game, to my knowledge, that you can catch blackberry jellyfish, and with them, you can actually craft the very cheap and easy to make golden wheat bread, which is very good for training your pets. And this is another little unique bit of Mooshu. And it's one of the most notable ones too. But yeah, Arrow Village is obviously a lot better, but this is a good place to grab them too. Just that quick tip. In the meantime, I will be right back. Hello, I am back. Yeah, sorry for the little extended break. I was gone for a little bit longer than I intended because I went to go grab another drink because I realized I'd finished my coffee after I was about to leave. So I just went and grabbed some soda, you know, more caffeine. Not because I need it, just because I'm in the mood for soda. Believe me. My caffeine addiction isn't that bad. I swear, it's not. But yeah. Now we're going to be progressing through Mooshu, again, at a pretty casual pace. You know, I think the thing is, if I'm actually remembering correctly, Mooshu is actually just deceptively long, where it's... or deceptively short, and it just feels longer than it actually is. Because if I'm remembering correctly, it's just that there's two really, really long dungeons that sort of cloud even my memory of it. Because I think Mooshu has a relatively small amount of main quests, actually. Although, it's just that it's so big, and it's also so tedious, really. There's just way too many long dungeons. So hopefully, we can actually finish Mooshu within the next few days. because if I'm going to be taking a short break for Pirate 101, then I'd like to be able to finish Mooshu as quickly as possible. So with that in mind, I might end up actually going for maybe 4 hours today. 3 or 4 hours. I mean, I have to say, you know, I haven't actually commented on it too much, but man, I really do not like these new blades, especially with the way they didn't change weakness. I get that it's supposed to be HD and all, but I'm actually not really feeling them. And I know I'm not the only person who feels like that either. I kind of feel weird that after so many years they changed another one of the very fundamental designs of Wizard101. Because the old blades were kind of iconic. I mean, they were flat like paper, right? But they were very nice. I think, at least. So let's see. We have Tactikai Outpost, Crimson Fields, Shoshone Village. No, wait, it actually is super long. Never mind. Yeah, it has... Wow, it has 88 main quests. That's actually quite a few. Yeah, I was thinking it has less areas than I was thinking, but no, it has about as many as I remember. Oh wait, never mind. A few of these areas are the villages, and are the dungeons I mentioned. Yeah, never mind. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, some of these dungeons are like entire villages in and of themselves. So after Tatakai Outpost is Crimson Fields, and it's King of Solitude, and it's Kishibe Village, and that's Shirotaki Temple, which is just a dungeon, and it's the Ancient Burial Grounds, and it's the Village of Sorrow, which I believe is a dungeon, or the Yoshido Temple is one. Yeah, that sounds a bit confusing, now that I actually think about it, just to say outright, but I'm trying to mentally calculate in my head whether or not I can actually finish it in 3 days, because
I now see why you are so revered. Our job here is nearly done. We have stopped the supplies for now, but even if Warlord Katsumori has gone mad, he is no fool. His quartermaster will find a new way to send supplies. Finish the job, revered wizard. Defeat the quartermaster and cut supplies to this outpost for good.
Because yeah, I think with how my streams of Marleybone went, they were actually relatively short. So if we can manage to finish up Mooshu pretty quickly, then we'll be able to make it to Dragonspire before we actually move over to Pirate 101. Let's see, it's the Otomo Habitat, I'm guessing? I think? I don't know. Is there a faster one? Oh, this is it. Okay. Just a very long walk over there, even with teleporters. So yeah. Yeah, but what was I saying before? Right, the blades. The thing is, I'm also not entirely sure how they're going to actually look whenever they implement the other ones that haven't been put in. I don't think that any of the item card ones, I don't think that Blade Storm has been updated yet, and I don't believe that Weakness hasn't either. Precision or Black Mantle or whatever. I kind of wish that they wouldn't focus so much on the new graphical updates. Not just because they're manpower that could be better put elsewhere, but also just because, generally speaking, I think that Wizard101 has a sort of aesthetic that they keep trying to change, despite the fact that I actually think it looks very good as it is now. So it's always very weird to me whenever they focus so much on that.
You must have caught my min by surprise. Not me.
Why was it focusing on the random minion? Did they forget to swap the two places around? Why was it the minion talking? Why was it focusing on him when he wasn't the one talking? That's so weird. But yeah, we'll have to use Hydra here anyways, because of that balance minion. Man, screw balance. I hate balance. Even though I'm balanced. I'm balanced and I hate myself. Right? Even balanced wizards hate other balanced wizards. So annoying. So many annoying tools that balance has. Okay. Let's just keep doing what we've been doing. least we managed to actually kill the minion. Would've been pretty cool if we managed to kill him too, but I guess that's asking a little bit too much. Nevertheless, we'll take a few turns of passing. So, just me, standing here, staring at him. Alright, do whatever you want, man. I got the floor. I'll let you hit me. I'll give you, I don't know, 3 free shots. Alright, pretty good one. Cyclops. Pretty standard attack, but it does a decent amount of damage. You know, not a bad choice. Alright, what do you got next? And I keep pip failing, okay. I need like at least 5 pips to kill him, I think. Alright, man, you got any more? Is that it? You got anything else? All worn out? Come on, hit me with your best shot. Come on. I'll even let you. Oh, never mind. You fizzled. Well, well, well. What a shame. I guess at the end of the day, you were a very lame horse. Moving on. Weren't even worthy of your own individual name. We just called the Quartermaster. What a lame-o. Anyways, let's see. Talk to Shai Fung again. Where is the clam here? Blue Oyster. I need to find that before I go. Don't want to forget about that. Let us look it up very quickly. And also where the teleporter is from here. Yeah, so something super weird that I keep forgetting is the fact that this quest is called Blue Oyster Cult, despite the fact that we never actually hear about a cult, which makes what Zeke is doing super suspicious, actually. Like, why is this finding a bunch of random blue oysters have something to do with a cult specifically?
The quartermaster? Then
oh, apparently it's actually a band.
Lines at last.
But Blue Oyster is a band? Blue Oyster Cult is a band? Wait a minute, hold on. It's an American rock band formed in Stony Brook, New York in 1967. Best known for the singles The Reaper, Burning for You, and Godzilla. Don't think I've ever heard of those. But what does that... Is that just... That's a very random reference. It doesn't mean anything to us. I mean, I guess it's a reference to the rock band thing, but...
You made sure of that. If you can fight, so can I. I've decided to stay longer to help defeat Warlord Katsumori. Tell Sanasai your job is done. I hope you will discover why Warlord Katsumori started this war.
I mean, I guess it's kind of a cool reference if you know about the band. But the issue is that it has nothing to do with music. It feels a bit like a forced reference more than anything. But that is kind of neat to know. Okay, so the Blue Oyster is behind a well over here. Yeah. I mean, King's Isle is known for making a bunch of references like that in their quest titles. But I have to say, that one is definitely not like a super smooth one. Oh, and by the way, we have this. Oops, I did not manage to get that in time. What is the button for that? I know there is one to bring it up. There's a hotkey for it somewhere. Trying to find it. And I cannot find it for the life of me. Tutorial to blog. Oh, yep, here it is.
Wizard, I've been told to summon you to Wolfminster Abbey post-haste. The state of the monarchy depends on it.
So this is actually, because we just turned level 40, this is that rooftop quest I was talking about, and we're also a master wizard now. I don't think we'll do that right now, mostly because the gear that you get from it is decent, relatively speaking, but it's actually not necessary at all, and the Zeus gear is generally speaking a little bit better.
Amazing. I don't know whether to thank you more for cutting the enemy's supply lines or for convincing Shai Feng to fight on. I am in your debt either way. I hope I am right in thinking that, with the supply lines cut, we must also cut their line of communication. But what about the spy Gamma mentioned? He expects much of me. We will need a large distraction. If you go to the scout towers and set fire to them, I can focus on finding this spy.
Yeah, so the other issue is that the enemies there have like 2,000 health each, and so similar to Kensington Park, we'll just have to go back to that later once we actually have our 7-pip AoE at least. Like our actual in-school one, not just the Hydra card. Yeah, because the Hydra item card is pretty strong, but it's also not very consistent in terms of its damage output. So that's sort of the issue, is that we'll be dealing with lots of cheating bosses that also have just way too much health, relatively speaking. Yeah, and the first boss there is apparently one that has 5,200 health, even without cheats. So that's very concerning. But yeah, the gear it drops in there is actually pretty decent. I believe it drops good damage rings and a Thames, which you do not get otherwise until like above level 60. So we'll have to do that later. But we will have to try to solo it at some point. Let's see, I actually do not remember where the third one is. Right, it's over there, near the fish. So we have to actually go back to the teleporter. Yeah, this is a really cool quest, actually. We're going around burning down the scout towers. There's not a lot of quests like that where you actually get to build up to it and then do it. Now, Chrysalis is actually one of the worlds where you actually get to do stuff like that again for the first time in a long time. Everything after that is, generally speaking, just a bunch of random stuff. And is a little less clearly connected. The war plotlines, though, are generally pretty good, I think.
I see the flames already. You have done well, Wizard.
It's one of the few, like, the war questlines are weirdly enough some of the best written ones, because it's actually the only real questlines where you actually get a lot of opportunities to actually really get involved with the story as sort of a main actor in them. And the stuff you do is, generally speaking, pretty cool, I think. You know, you get to be Mr. Spy Man, big tough wizard, blasting down towers and stuff.
It is hard to believe that this war began when His Imperial Majesty refused Warlord Katsumori's festival gift. Now, we all must fight to save our land.
Man, talk about petty. His entire civil war started because the Emperor refused the Warlord's gift.
I have discovered Gamma's spy. He's no spy at all, but the leader of this enemy outpost. He hides within the old dojo. One of the Ronin took the dojo's key when we were overrun. My men need to prepare for battle. I have a plan, but first, I must ask you to combat Ronin until you find the one with the key to the old dojo.
Unrelated to Wizard101, but there is actually something kind of interesting that was discussed at one point. I think I saw it, like, clipped out at some point on Reddit or on Twitter or some other social media service. There was a topic about the Sleeping Beauty story from Disney, which involves the fact that, very much like real life, a lot of stuff starts because people are super petty. And I found this really interesting, actually, is that, you know, very much a similar story is that the whole reason why Maleficent was technically even the villain of that story is because in the war between the fairies, not being invited to that party was basically the equivalent of picking a side in the war, which doesn't really have anything to do with this. But I do find that it's kind of nice whenever stories actually go out of their way to have, okay, cool, these guys are ice, they're not balanced. For a second I was a bit concerned about that. But yeah, I do like whenever stories have very weird, sort of petty reasons for happening like that. And just hearing that reminded me of it. Yeah, what a petty way to start a civil war. So, he threw a festival feast, presumably, which he is known for doing. The emperor refused his gift during it. And then he stole his sword and presumably used it to, like, claim some sort of, like, ancient law or something. And then decided to start an entire civil war just because his gift got refused. You know, there's lots of stories like that throughout history. Let's not forget one of the most famous ones. About the Battle of Troy, and how that entirely started over just who wanted to get their waifu, basically. Stories like that are really top tier, I think. Because it really emphasizes the pettiness that goes into a lot of these stupid things whenever you have a lot of power. Now, like wars that start because you insulted some dude's honor actually make a lot of sense when you consider the fact that you just get handed power. Like, I don't know, the time you're like 16 years old in a lot of those cases. You just become one of the most powerful people of all time. It makes sense. And it's also very funny. But it's also very intriguing to look back and see it. Because a lot of the time, especially by historians that were like specifically tasked with the job of documenting what they were doing, would go out of their way to romanticize the reasons for it, when in reality, a lot of that kind of stuff was probably even more petty than you even hear about it. You have to read between the lines on that sort of stuff.
You have the key. This plan may well work. Perhaps I'm not as bad a leader as Gamma believes.
Like when you look at it, Julius Caesar, like a lot of his campaigns were especially driven by just being petty. I had a weird phase where I was going through and looking at a lot of Roman stuff. And his campaigns were some of the funniest ones in my opinion, because despite having very successful ones, he was basically nothing more than a cheerleader for his troops. And also, a lot of his stuff was done mostly by the belief that he just could do it rather than like any actual practical reason for it. And so a lot of the times where he almost got himself killed through like mutiny and managed to save himself through his presumably high charisma were all interconnected due to that sort of shared human pettiness.
Wizard, make your way to the old dojo and defeat Maito. My men will distract the bulk of his forces while you attack.
You know what, I'll give this guy credit. He's not as bad of a leader as that guy says, but that doesn't make him any more competent at doing it, because we're still the one doing pretty much all of the heavy lifting. Right, he's been talking about gathering his men together, but I don't think they've ever actually done a single thing in the entire time we've been here. He hasn't mentioned them actually going out on any missions or anything. So yeah, you know, I'll give you that. You're a decent enough leader,
In what
I suppose.
world do you think you can take me on? Not this one, wizard.
Whoops, that came up again. Yeah, keep clicking off the screen to check something. And because of that, for some reason, OBS locks in your previous activation, like the last thing you turned on, and ties it to the spacebar key, which is the same one I used to use for dialogue. Although you actually don't have to in this game. You don't have to use the spacebar, but it does make it very efficient to spam. I should bring up the fact that you don't have to, because it's actually really interesting. Wizard101 is like a very specific list of older computer RPGs. It is a game that you can actually play efficiently with just one hand. I've actually tested this out before, because I have this weird thing about only having one arm. I've always like been curious about, like, if it did happen, what video games could you still play, like, efficiently? Obviously, there's a lot of, like, top-down strategy games, like Age of Empires or Civilization stuff. And there's also games that are a little bit more involved, like this. There's also Star Wars The Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic specifically. Those are other really good games. Specifically, I'm only trying to keep track of, like, the genuinely good ones, in my opinion. Because there's probably a few that you could play, but they're just like, I don't know, Minesweeper or something. Which, yeah, you can play with one hand, but I know people who have been good at Minesweeper, but I don't think I've ever actually met someone who actually, like, enjoyed it. That's actually a good vest. Like, in terms of damage and defense, that's actually pretty decent. Stuff like this is actually, like, what we'd normally be wearing if we were going through the game normally. Yeah, so the way you can play this with one hand is... Oh wait, yeah, you do have to press X to enter and talk to people sometimes, although you can hypothetically click them. But you can always just move your hand over to the X button. But yeah, by holding down both the right and left mouse buttons, you can actually move around. And we're going to test it out here because it's very inconsistent. Yeah, it's very difficult, but we can still do it. Just one hand. Just showing it off a little bit. Because I do find this very nice. It's always good to know. And then you can also
Sonasai smiles broadly at you.
A great victory was won today, thanks to you.
The funny thing is, lots of people have lots of extra side quests in their quest log, because everybody spams the spacebar so much that they don't actually realize that for all of the side quests, there's actually a decline button.
Your help gave me the courage to retake
but it's impossible to press without the
mouse. You will be able
mouse.
to face Warlord Katsumori soon. My brother Gamma must accept this victory.
Oh, he's your brother.
You did not know. It does not surprise me Gamma never claimed me as his brother. Perhaps he will now.
Man, that disrespect is even worse than...
We will take care of the rest of the forces here. Return to Hametsu village and tell Shojiro Gamma the news.
So why are your names so different? Don't like people from like the same clans usually have to have like the same exact name or something? Like the same exact last name specifically. And then like their first name would usually be like their rank. At least that's what I'd heard how it works. So yeah, the weird thing about it is, when we first entered into this area, I wasn't actually holding down the mouse buttons anymore, but this doesn't apply to the arrow keys. But for the mouse buttons specifically, whenever you enter an area or exit an area, it actually locks you into moving, even if you're no longer pressing the buttons. But yeah, so for side quests, you can actually choose to decline most of them, but since everyone spacebar spams their way through all of the dialogue, they actually accidentally end up accepting every single quest line. But yeah, it's a little bit slower, but you can play this game with one hand.
You have shown me that I should have greater faith in my little brother. Thank you for opening my eyes, Wizard. Your work with my younger brother has pushed the enemy back. Now is your chance to fulfill your destiny and return the sword. Speak with Hoi Mang at the front in the Crimson Fields. He leads our troops against Warlord Katsumori and will know the best way to seize the sword.
Yeah, it's kind of useless to us because we are already doing all the side quests, but I do think that's a pretty neat thing. Oh yeah, and wait, is this another? Please don't let this be another one.
Leave this place, wizard. This is my dungeon. You will not survive.
Please. Okay, no, he was just saying it. Okay, he was just threatening us. Okay, it wasn't another, oh yeah, you can only bring 4 wizards in at a time. Oh, cool though. The Crimson Fields actually is something. Well, we can team up with one hand. Oh, in order to enter, we have to move over. You know, just to show it off for the rest of this stream, or at least for a little bit into it, just because I think it's really neat, and I do like that it's available, I will play this stream with only one hand. So, I can really show off the mechanics of only playing with a single hand. Because, I don't know, like Tite Kubo, the author of Bleach, or actually lots of anime people, now that I think about it, lots of anime and manga writers have this weird obsession, or George Lucas, or, you know, whatever. I have this other weird obsession with only having one arm. I think about it a lot. But yeah, let's talk to this guy.
Samurai Sojiro Gama sent you. I welcome your help. You must defeat the war Oni and recover the Emperor's sword. We have been waiting for you. If you would honor the general with your presence, please take this to him in the fort.
So I actually forgot that this in and of itself was a dungeon. So yeah, this is what I meant. So this dungeon has like 8 quests in it. Does it have side quests? That's actually a good question. It does not. Okay, that's good. Wait, the general. Oh, right, this guy. Okay. I believe this... No, this isn't the dungeon. It's the next dungeon. That does it. Yeah. One of the dungeons, the very first boss you fight, is the one who drops the samurai spell. Which is useful to have, because it does 540 damage to 600, I think, for 5 pips. Which means that it will always out-damage Judgment for the same amount.
Ah, so you've come for His Imperial Majesty's sword. I assure you, you won't leave here without it. Warlord Katsumori is preparing a counterattack. If we don't prepare our defenses, he could reclaim the village and outpost you worked so hard to free.
Yeah, but...
We must rebuild our barricades. While my men hold the line, gather wood from the piles near here. We will put it to good use.
Let's see, where's the stupid clan? The stupid oyster thing. Yeah, the whole one-arm thing, I'm not entirely sure why that is. It seems like a lot of authors, or content creators, also like it. Is it because it's dramatic? Is there some psychological reason for it? I do not know. But... it is a weird obsession of mine to figure out how to live with only one arm. Yeah, that is very weird. Because, you know, like, in all of the Star Wars movies and, like, in a lot of the other media, for some reason, you know, Luke lost a hand, Anakin lost a hand, lots of people lost hands. Same thing in a lot of series. But then there's always this obsession with prosthetic hands, too. You know, it's also funny. In the Spider-Man game, too, we're also having prosthetic arms. You know, it seems like there's a lot of weird cultural things going on in a lot of our media with only having prosthetic hands. We're talking about it. Wait, what are we doing? Right, the wood piles. I thought we were doing the banners already. And I don't know why that is. You know, but we'll figure out more about that prosthetic arm thing and how it ties back into it when we go into Spider-Man again later tonight. At some point, like, oh yeesh, it's already 4? Yeah. So I think I'll end this stream in, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how much progress I can actually make in Mooshu. But with that in mind, yeah, we'll play Spider-Man, I think like maybe 2-3 hours after this stream ends.
You have
We'll figure
more
it out.
than fulfilled your duty. Your willingness to help honors me, Wizard. Rebuild the barricades along the edge of the fort with this wood. As you strengthen our defenses, you strengthen our chances against Warlord Katsumori.
Now we're making some real progress. It's kind of funny, these just like spawn in immediately. And like, if you're not paying attention, they'll just like cut you off and you won't know what happened. Especially if you're only like half paying attention. Where is it? No, there it is. Yeah, so these can actually like just pop up immediately in front of you and then you just get super confused. That happened to me a few times.
Your work, though it was humble, has immense value. I don't know why Warlord Katsumori has attacked, nor do I care. All I know is never to underestimate Warlord Katsumori. By His Imperial Majesty's throne, Warlord Katsumori knew we would rebuild the barricades here, so he attacked our scout towers.
So, I'm actually kind of curious, what does Mori mean? Because I think Katsu means pork? So what does Mori mean? Forest. So wait, does his name literally mean like pork forest? Hold on a second. Pig forest? Okay, so would Katsumori have a specific meaning? Oh, wait a minute. Katsumori is actually its own name. It would mean... oh, a success talisman. Oh, it means winds, or it means the forest surrounding the shrine. But it's also made up of pig forest. That's interesting.
I am a fool. He himself taught me to strengthen defenses before every battle. He counted on me to follow my training.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Fortunately, we turned back his attack, but not before his forces had chased my scouts into the forest. Find the scouts so we can keep watch on Warlord Katsumori's movements.
It is safe to return? Thank you, revered wizard. I will return to my post.
Orders from Rikugon. Thank you, esteemed wizard. I will return to my post.
The scouts have begun reporting to me. Thank you. I am ashamed that I played into Warlord Katsumori's hands. Without you, much more would have been lost. My first duty is to His Imperial Majesty, but my second duty is to the land. The spirits of the earth have called for help, and we must answer. My men are getting into battle position. Could you speak with Bricktop, the Colossus nearby? If you can help, it would honor both the Emperor and the land.
You have come in our hour of need. The trolls have taken our secret stone. Losing it weakens us. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Win the stone from the troll called Ground Foultooth, and we can fight.
Grum like war. Grum make war with you and win. You have the secret stone.
the stone on the two cairns outside the fort for victory over your enemy. I will defend this path, wizard. None shall pass. I will defend this path, wizard. None shall pass. Thank you, living creature. We will fight against your enemy. Tell Rikugun.
I see that the Earth itself has joined our fight. We would not have found such strong allies without you. Thank you, Wizard.
So, you have raised the banners for the Emperor. Looks like I'll have to teach you who to respect around here.
My scouts have reported that Warlord Katsumori is moving his troops back, but he taught me too well. He is trying to trick us and intends to attack at once. You can turn the tide of battle. Defeat those forces attacking at the front, and we can claim victory today. For His Imperial Majesty! You've done it! Warlord Katsumori's forces are on the run. You have earned our unending respect today. My men have found a secret entrance into Warlord Katsumori's fortress. Now you can seize his Imperial Majesty's sword. Did you think I had forgotten? Once my sword was stolen, and I was lost. But a collector from Wizard City returned it to me. The sword is truly the spirit of the samurai. Enter Warlord Katsumori's fortress and win the sword. You will find a worthy foe in Warlord Katsumori. Or his most benevolent majesty.
You have shown skill to reach me, but this is where your luck runs out.
Same basic strategy as before. Just 2-blade sandstorm and then use whatever pips you have left over for judgment. And that should be enough to solo everything in Mooshu except for the Onis themselves, I believe. Specifically the Jade Oni, because unless they nerfed him into the ground again, he should still have like 7,000 health. Yeah, they really haven't stopped with the nerfs on that guy specifically though since the spell audit came out. They had pretty much every enemy, I believe, have its HP reduced by 20%. But then for like the War Oni, not the War Oni, the Jade Oni, they first reduced his health down to like 8,000, and then around the time of the spell audit, I think they removed it or lowered it further to like 7,000. And I don't know if they've lowered it further since then. But I look forward to finding out. Either way, a single judgment with like 2 feints should make it super easy.
You have defeated me as Katsumori. Now, face me as the War Oni.
I will take you down with force you've never seen before.
Wow, what a twist. What a twist. We totally didn't see that little thing on the map before we came in here. Okay, you know, when we stop being a ghost, we can fight him. There we go. Okay. Same exact thing as before. Same strategy forever and ever, for as long as we are using a balanced character. Except until we get our level 48 spell. Then we'll do 2 blades, and then we'll use Power Nova instead. It'll be a very slightly different strategy. Same general idea though. I just realized his back is so hunched. Like, it's completely, like, bean-shaped almost. It looks so uncomfortable. I mean, I get that he's supposed to be like an elephant, right? And so he's supposed to have like a big hump. But he's shaped like a kidney bean. Or like a pinto bean is more like it. Like his spine is completely C-shaped. His shoulders are bigger than his head. And that looks super uncomfortable. I believe this should kill, but just in case, we will enchant it. So we'll do it for sure. Oh, you know what else I should do before I end stream today? I should do those extra side quests I found out about. Beautiful. Yeah, I should do those side quests I found out about, and then I should also look at the Mooshu houses. Because last time I was doing Wizard101, I was looking for a house.
This book begins, according to legend, dragons once lived on Mooshu.
And I ultimately didn't really bother with the Mooshu houses because I'd only reached up to Marleybone at that point, but we'll still check them out just for a little bit of fun.
The tale begins with Emperor Ping, who formed the first empire using the power of a dragon.
Wow.
Since that time, the Mooshu emperors have wielded dragon magic and have called themselves descendants of the dragon.
That doesn't make sense because, you know, dragons are just part of fire magic, but, you know, that's another thing. Different schools of magic do exist besides the ones they teach in Ravenwood. You know, Ravenwood is like the metric system, right? And these guys are using their good old-fashioned imperial stuff.
You have returned. What news from the front lines? You have the sword. Because of you, my family and I have honored His Imperial Majesty. Perhaps you have also restored the honor of Warlord Katsumori. I must make one last request. Take the sword to the High Monk and King within the Jade Palace. It was your battle. You deserve the honor, Wizard.
Okay, in the meantime, did we get any extra quests? Nope, still just the ancient burial grounds. Okay. Keep that in mind. Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of the Mooshu houses, but I suppose we can check them out really quick. No, I just think they look a little bit plain. You know, if Mooshu wears on you after a while, then these houses are just painful reminders of it. And here he is, our good old boy. This one's named Kame, I never noticed that. It's cool.
Welcome. The tranquil cottage is just the castle for the young wizard seeking to escape the hustle and bustle of the spiral. Can you feel that? Do you know what that is? Tranquility. Have a look around. You may even find yourself.
Don't need to worry about that. Mr. Muda himself already confirmed that we are completely, totally equal to him in terms of Zen.
This chamber is good for contemplation of the outer world and meditation on the inner world.
I didn't realize this house actually had this. I completely forgot about this. This is actually kind of cool. I like that.
This waterfall perch offers you a tranquil sky view with refreshing waters splashing on either side of you. Earth, sky, and water in harmony.
You know, for like a general character, and also if the green was a little bit less wearing on the eyes after a while, this would actually be a really cool house now that I'm actually looking at it again. Yeah, if the grass was slightly less obnoxiously bright. Let's see, how do we get down there to that little bridge area? Now we can just walk. Nice.
This little island is a wonderful place for a picnic.
And look at the tiny little bridge. Like, the bridge is actually just the right size for a weirdly small character. It's actually kind of adorable. Tiny little bridge, tiny little house, tiny little steps. It's everything just scaled down.
Cottage features traditional styling and elegant simplicity.
You know what? I'm kind of digging it, actually.
Think of this room like a blank canvas. It can be a bedroom, a study, a game room, anything you'd like, really.
I'm not really digging the ceiling, but it would be super obnoxious to have to come all the way up here for the bank, though. Anything down here?
These nooks are perfect for exhibiting trophies, pieces of art, or valuable keepsakes.
If this one led into another room just like the one above, but below, that would be good for the additional space. What was that? My game just glitched and lagged like crazy. Anyways, that's that entire house, I'm pretty sure. So let's check out this other one. The Imperial Palace, which has a way cooler name than it actually
Imperial
is.
Palace. Live like the Emperor himself in a castle like this. I can't even begin to list all of the features this castle has. It's best if you just walk around the grounds and take a look for yourself.
Yeah, this one especially.
Walk along garden paths and cross scenic bridges. Running water and beautiful green grass define the outdoor space.
Yeah, it's too much green. It's too much of this green specifically. All of the hills are completely, totally green, which is kind of weird because that means that these entire hills are just covered, even like vertically, with grass. It is a weird thought. You know, because to my knowledge, grass doesn't grow like that, like in a completely cone-shaped thing. So that would be very weird looking in real life.
1, 2, 3 waterfalls. Is that all of them? I've lost track of how many bridges and waterfalls this castle offers.
Like, if these sections were like cliffs with like dirt or something, I think it would look better. Although this stone bridge is nice. It's pretty aesthetic. These little back and forth stones. Those are nice. I'll give them that. Anyways, let's walk inside and see what this place offers.
The main hall combines traditional styling with elegant simplicity, offering enough space here for you to do what you'd like.
It's pretty nice, actually. The interior looks good. I'll give it that. I like the pillars. I like that.
The West Wing features 2 sizable rooms. Plenty of space for you and your guests.
Funnily enough, the only actual good usage for this house that I ever actually really saw was somebody actually made their own like little YouTube movie of this, where they were like portraying this as a hotel, and it was like a murder hotel mystery back in the days when those sorts of things were like common on YouTube, right? When everyone was trying to make their own like little stories out of like Legos or action figures and stuff like that. They did it for Wizard101, which is pretty cool. Very ambitious. Yeah, this one is a big old room.
This is the East Wing, with a ready-to-use room.
Singular large room. Yeah, there's no upstairs, which makes the ceiling look a bit weird because the ceiling looks like a floor. But anyways. Yeah, this does kind of look like a hotel, which I do think actually does add to that idea a little bit. Yeah, I thought that was a very creative use of this house specifically. Anyways, we'll just go back onto the main quest and give the sword to Mr. Monk, Mr. Head Monk, Mr. Monkman. The goat. Get right back on that. Right, what do you have to say?
His Imperial Majesty's sword. I should have trusted that you were the one fated to bring it back, but I was not certain until now.
Tan King, the High Monk of Mooshu, listens gravely to your battlefield report.
Wait a minute, fated? Was there like a prophecy or something I didn't know about? Hold on. What do you mean fated to bring it back? And second of all, rude, why did you not trust me for that? I'm pretty capable.
What? You fought and defeated an Oni demon? With his Imperial Majesty in a weakened state, the Oni may well have possessed others beside Warlord Katsumori. This is most troubling. We can take nothing for granted. I felt assured that the healing waters of Mooshu could cure His Benevolent Majesty's mind. But now I worry. Our brothers currently care for these waters. Please visit Sun Hing at Shoshan Village and make sure the water runs pure.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the sanitation workers not doing their job. They're just dumping buckets of poo in the water. Is that why the healing water isn't working anymore? Is there a poo demon forcing them to shovel all their waste into it? That's pretty gross, actually. It would make sense. I mean, it seems like these demons can be for pretty much anything. Okay, so we're coming up on the Cave of Solitude. I mean, there is the Plague Oni, so... you know, maybe. Anyways, Yoshida Temple, Village of Sorrow, Shusham. Here it is. We need to find that, right there. Well, we didn't really need to find it, we just had to walk over to it. It's in a very obvious location. And there we go. And what do you have to say, Sun Ying?
What a disaster. Our treasured water is no longer pure. It's a complete nightmare. I don't know what to do. The water was always pure before. My superior will be furious. Woe is me.
Mood, you don't actually know how to do your job because it was always done for you.
Perhaps he'd know what to do. Yes, good idea. You can find Din Ho at the Cave of Solitude.
Yeah. You know, that's sort of the downside for hiring people to be bean tickers. Is that when the machine or people that produce the beans aren't working, then they are out of a job, basically, because you never taught them how to do anything. You know, you gotta make sure that you don't have people who just do a bunch of useless nonsense. Like, this guy is in charge of making sure the water runs pure, and he doesn't even know what to do. He has to rely on a ghost to do it for him. Like, at least the bamboo is yellowish here. It's a little bit different. And look, they've added a spider web. See, it's totally not just a bunch of reused assets. See, it's slightly different. Totally not laziness on that part. I do like this section though, walking into the actual cave itself. It's super cool looking. Like these big mountainous paths, and you walk in and then it's boom, money shot up there. This looks cool, right? This is the little moments like this that make Mooshu not completely unbearable, and it also makes it somewhat aesthetic looking.
Yes, I know of this Hiyotoko you are tracking. He has brought much suffering to this region. He and his henchmen are holed up in the Myoto Pagoda. May your justice be swift.
Okay, so like, are you the dude I had to talk to for my bounce spell? Well, let's deal with that.
Patience, young wizard.
Okay,
There are solutions to all things. We shall make the water pure again.
Okay, so the first thing he said was my balance spell. Alright.
The path set before us is a difficult one, but we must still follow it. The health of the Emperor and of all living things on Mooshu depends on our actions. The Plague Oni, a powerful demon, has sickened our water and broken the Jade Scepter that purifies our shrines. We can weaken the Plague Oni by repairing the Jade Scepter.
See, what did I say? The Plague Oni, he just dumped a bunch of shit into the water.
This demon is an
Potentially,
ancient enemy.
literally.
I know its ways. I have discovered the location of a piece of the Jade Scepter. It was taken by mutineers who hide in the forest. Please, retrieve this piece for us.
Okay. Where is our bounce spell? I am wanting to get that first because I am selfish. Where is it? Where is it? No, is it the green pagoda thing? Okay, that's weird. Wait, come on, turn around. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll switch back over to using two hands for now. You know, Because as cool as being able to use one hand, I feel like I've demonstrated it enough. You know, so. Just showing off that you can do it. I have no idea what the spell is though, mind you. It's probably going to be completely useless to us. And I don't think we get our next somewhat usable spell until 2 levels from now, although I think that might just be the PvP spells. The new Rochambeau ones. So those would also be completely useless to us. Because I don't really do PvP. As I have mentioned before. Yeah. This is a mistake. What spell are we getting though? That's a good question. Look that up really quick. Oh, wait, never mind. We actually get Hydra and Iron Curse and the Elemental Golem spell level 42. So yeah, 2 levels we'll actually get 3 spells. Iron Curse is actually exciting. Because it is a 4-pip overtime AoE, which is, realistically speaking, totally useless, but it's cool, and that's what matters.
Greetings, living creature. My brethren,
So let's see.
earth spirits are corrupted. Collect cursed rock from them. Bring to me.
Wait, I think this is... Yep, it is Spectral Minion, I believe. Yeah, because next will be Power Nova. Okay, yeah, so it's Spectral Minion. Spectral Minion will be good for exactly 1 singular, maybe 2, actually, fights in Grizzleheim, and that's about it. But it would be good to have for then. Because once we get level 48 and get Power Nova, I think we'll...
You have come for the gem? Never. It is the key to my kingdom. It will bring me great wealth and power.
Yeah, I think once we get Power Nova, we'll just go straight into Transpire. And this guy is just getting his cardio in. Good on him, you know? He looks a little bit chubby. Looks like he could use it. Even though I'm pretty sure he's a zombie. Because he's glowing green. But you know, good for him anyways. Oh no. Oh no, he's a balanced one too. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought it would be a death. Well, that's annoying. Hopefully it doesn't weakness me. Nope. Although, yep. I was about to say, he could put an elemental shield on him, which would be about the same thing. Hydra time. And there was only ice. That is disappointing. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit, you know, more oomph to it. We'll just keep building up pips. I think we'll need to do it at least 1 more time. If we get another power pip, that is. So I'll just be staring down this pig. Yep, okay, 1 more turn. Let's just staring at each other. Menacing. Who's gonna make the first move? Me. Because thankfully I actually managed to get first this time. Those PvE changes can't come soon enough. Because really all they'd have to do to make soloing viable. Oh, there we go. I finally got to see the dance. I didn't cut it off. Not bad, not bad. It looks better than I was expecting, actually. Totally forgot I was even doing that too. Let's see, what's the next one? Brooklyn. No idea what that means. That is a very vague name. Okay, so we have to go back to Alhazred. Which, I guess we might as well do. Just plop down that, go home. Right, we unequipped our Wizard's Watchtower. We'll re-equip that. Yeah, we'll have to go through Bartleby now. My bad. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is Spectral Minion, but the quest name seems off to it. Let me see. Let's see. The last quest is supposed to be called Balancing Act? No, this one says Present Danger. Wait, that's the first... No, wait, that's quest... Wait, what? Because on the Wizard101 Central, it says the quest chain that you're supposed to get the quests from, but Present Danger is the name of the first quest. And I'm pretty sure I already did everything else. Unless it's just super long. And it's 2 parts. Now, I'm pretty sure it just goes back to the first quest then.
You found it. I thought it was gone forever. Good for you.
Oh, thanks. Red heat.
Oh, the gem has become flawed. It will need to be rebalanced. This will require the use of the 3 elements.
Oh, for real? That was the very first part of the quest?
First, you must take the gem to the fire pit in the pyramid. Heat it up to cleanse it of its impurities.
Okay, never mind. It really is that long. That's a bit awkward. So I find it funny that it says we need to rebalance it, but every single time we do anything related to balance, 99% of the time it's always elemental. There's like barely any spiritually related quests for balance.
As you plunge the gem into the fire, it gains a fiery red hue.
Even though balance is supposed to be made up of all 6. The spirit school always gets shafted when it comes to balance. Even the Spirit Blast version of Spectral Blast is locked behind a paywall. You have to open up a spell element pack to get it too, which makes it like 10 times worse potentially. Yeah, they really couldn't just give it to you. And I'm pretty sure there isn't a 7-pip AoE item card for Spirit either. I'm pretty sure Linnaean Hydra is the only one. Yeah, I get Linnaean Hydra for the elemental ones, but I don't think the Spirit ones even have one.
Yes, that is just what it needed to cleanse it. Now it needs something else. Let me think.
Because the Snappy Griffin, like, is its own thing, but then there's the Xenosaurus, I believe it's called, was the old pet. And that one came out with Azteca. Okay, so yeah, it's just the Harpy. Yeah, so the Harpy... Oh, never mind, actually. The Harpy does, in fact, give you an item card for it. Okay, never mind them. Yeah, so it's not completely screwed over. Yeah, because there's 2 pets for it. There's the Harpy, which is the spirit version, and there's the Xenosaurus, which is the elemental version. And they give you elemental or spirit traps, then they give you Spirit Blast, which is Spectral Blast, or it gives you a Spectral Blast item card. And the Xenosaurus was the original card that had the Linnaean Hydra. And the Harpy gives the Lycean Chimera, which is the same thing, but spiritual. So that's cool.
Oh, now you need to take the gem to the entrance chamber at the Crocosphinx. Dip it into the frozen waters to temper what the heat has added.
Yeah, I was just misremembering. That's my bad. Doing my best not to spread misinformation. Gotta make sure to give out those handy, correct tips for all those newbies and other balance wizards out there who may not know. Yeah, you can get the Harpy from drops in Olympus, by the way. I don't know where you get the
As you
Cenosaurus.
plunge the gem into the water, the red dissolves to a placid blue.
That's weird. Oh, that's actually super duper weird. The gem just changes color. More importantly, it like dissolved. What does that mean? It had like a thin like red layer of like paint or something on it? Or it was like foil? What is that? What does that even mean? It dissolved off.
Back already? You're moving too fast for me. Let me try to remember what is next.
Yeah, try not to die, Alice Red.
Oh yes, the final step in purifying the gem. You will need to travel down tombs to the Well of Spirits. There you must hold the gem up and charge it with the living energies of the Crocs of old.
Wait, what? I thought you were going to say we're supposed to charge it up, so I'm guessing we're charging it up with life and death magic then? But in that case, we're missing Storm and Myth. I don't know. I'm confused. Balance is weird. Alizard is weird. He's old. He's senile. He's probably forgetting something. I don't know. But if it works, it works. Whatever we need to get this stupid thing. Wrong button. Yeah. The one issue with playing Genshin and the Wizard101 at the same time is that you use X for everything in Wizard101, but use F for everything in Genshin. So occasionally I get the two confused in my brain. It's like weird muscle memory. Alright, here we go. Let us just... You know, that was actually a bit rude to Alizard. I take it back.
Changes the gem back to its original color, signaling that it is once more in balance.
Okay, never mind. I guess it actually was storm magic somehow. So yeah, Spirit once again has not been brought up in another balance quest. The spirit schools are a vague and mysterious thing. They don't really do much, you know? They're not heavy lifters like the elemental schools are. At least that's how they're treated.
Yes, the gem is now in balance. You are now prepared for the last step in creating your spell.
And the last step, huh? What's up?
Now you must summon a minion to get the power for your next spell. However, I'm afraid you'll have to consult with Niles.
Okay.
He is in better touch with the universe than I. He will instruct you on where to do the summoning.
That makes sense, but then again, literally you invented balance magic, and even the other trees didn't know there'd be a balance one, so the lore on that isn't really clear why Niles would know more than you about it. Presumably he's younger than you are.
So, you need to summon a minion for your next spell. Let me see. Yes, of course, Ravenwood. Go to the entrance area of Ravenwood in Wizard City. I believe that Arthur Weathersfield, the balance instructor, can assist you afterwards.
Wow. I didn't believe we were ever actually going to talk to this guy again. I mean, we kind of just ditched him. This is going to be a bit awkward. Kind of just ghosted him after we found Krokotopia. Well, anyways, it's for the sake of the spell, so we gotta do it. Hey, old buddy, old pal.
Strange silence takes hold of the area around you.
Why, it isn't every day that a balance student...
Fear us, student, for we are masters of balance. We have watched you, and we do not doubt that you will be a master someday too. But the road will be long and difficult.
Well, that was a little bit glitched out, but yeah, you see what I'm saying? The ninja pigs look super cool. Right? Like, look at that one. He's bouncing on the sword. And that is awesome looking.
We are sure you are up for it, but you must make haste. There is a dangerous situation developing in the land of dragons. You will be required to remedy this at great cost. But first you must redress what is wrong in the land of Mooshu.
Maybe we will meet again there. For now, farewell, young wizard.
Okay, hello, old buddy, old pal. Oh yeah, you see? Look at that. Such a cool spell. Shame we never get to use it.
My, it isn't every day that a Balan student is able to summon up minions like that.
Yeah, thanks.
Your powers have improved since we last visited. It looks like you're ready to learn your next spell.
Oh, at least he's being nice about it. Great teacher. Love this guy. And there we go. Spectral minion. 3 pips, and we potentially get a decent one in the form of the storm minion. And that's about it. That's all we really use it for. Because the other 2 were not updated to be as overpowered as the storm one is. Let's see. Are there any other side quests we need to grab in here? There are probably quite a few. Yeah, there are. There are a lot. Okay. So, we need to presumably use the teleporter and then try to find out where Hikari Yip is. Okay. Okay, so he's over here. So, fun fact, Hikari Yip is Bin Hoa's apprentice. I know that, because of the trivia. It is another question that you get asked all the time. There are actually 2 questions about Hikari Yip, actually. Although I do not remember what the other one is, but I remember it when we find the quest related to it.
Have you seen my apprentice, Bin Hua? I sent him to gather herbs in the forest over 2 hours ago, and he still hasn't returned.
Oh, never mind. Bin Hoa is the apprentice of Hikari Yip.
I suppose he's gotten himself lost again. Would you please find him and tell him to hurry back here? I think I might be on the brink of a major discovery.
As it turns out, by misremembering that means I must now go back and do the trivia 200 more times, so I can not only get free stitches, but so that I can also have this drilled back into my memory, because how could I forget that very vital piece of Wizard101 lore? How could I get that confused? I'm so ashamed of myself. Oh man. How could I have forgotten that? So pathetic. Anyways. Bin Hoa. Bin Hua. Bin whatever. I don't know. I already forgot how he pronounced it. Okay, so that's another village. I think. I'm in the Cave of Solitude, which... It doesn't say there's anything in here. So I guess we'll just have to assume that there isn't one, unless it's referring to something else. I don't know. Anyways, where's Bin Hoa? That's how I always pronounce it, in my head at least. Bin Hoa. Bin Hoa. Whatever. Oh man, that's right, the yokai. So, fun fact about Wizard101, there's actually cards that are no longer in existence. And one of them is actually a card known by the name of yokai, I believe. I believe it's the treasure card version that is discontinued.
Oh, I feel so sick. I was hungry, so I ate those red berries, and now I feel so sick. Can you get a healing potion from Master Yip for me? Oh, it hurts so much.
No, let me look it up. So, it is under the retired spells, and I believe it is the treasure card yokai. Yes, that is correct. It is actually a retired spell, and it's actually it uses the model of these little forest imp guys, which is what reminded me of it. And it, as I mentioned before, there's the entire Empower black market, basically. It's the trading central. The Empowers are like the currency of the underground Wizard101 market. And the yokai card, being a retired one, is one of the most valuable cards in the game. And I find it funny because it actually sucks really, really bad. It's not even like Simplify or another spell that's actually decently powerful, all things considered. That makes it worth a lot of money. It's just the scarcity of it. Because all it does is it's a 6-pip spell that does 665 life damage. Which, you know, they had to make sure it didn't do one more damage, otherwise it would have been too much of a reference to the whole thing about yokai and devils and stuff. You know, they just couldn't do it.
That Benoit, I told him not to eat those berries. They're poisonous. Lucky for Benoit, nightshade berries are not so noxious. He won't die from them, but he'll want something for the intense pain.
Wait, Benoit ate nightshade berries? Man, he is stupid.
I do seem to have the recipe for an antidote, but some of these ingredients are quite uncommon. My, it would take a fighter to get this ingredient.
I don't know, I guess there might not be any better options for an apprentice if the guy who eats nightshade berries on a whim is all he could get.
Take a look at me. Obviously, I could never battle a Manikai webwalker for its venom sac. It looks like a job for a wizard. How about it?
I don't know, man. You look pretty capable. You could probably beat them up with that stick of yours. But yeah, I get it. You know, hand it off to the new guy. Because what am I gonna do? You know, go around, save your entire world. You know, who has time for that, right? No, instead I have to help save your dumbass apprentice because he decided to eat nightshade berries. Oh yeah, we're very close to the Ronin mutineers, so we should do that really quickly instead. Yeah. Thankfully, Mooshu is kind of low stakes despite being a civil war, but this is actually going to come up really badly in Azteca specifically, which is probably the most infamous version or example of you guys literally destroyed any chance of anything good happening by this by constantly distracting me by making me do your favors. Spoilers, by the way. I'm not going to go any further into that. But yeah, Azteca really stands out in like the stupid moments of this game. Although, I don't mind it too much, honestly. You know, in actuality, it does add something to the experience. Okay, so next we need to find the teleporter again. Where is it? It is just slightly further down over here. We need to be on the exact opposite end of the map for this. Those other two. So we're gonna go from the fish to the butterfly. Oh, we might as well talk to him. Maybe he'll make us fight something else.
The Muda truly blessed us when you arrived in Mooshu. Thanks to your actions, we now have the handle of the Jade Scepter.
And want to make sure he doesn't accidentally, or coincidentally, give us any more enemies to fight before we go off and kill those guys.
I consulted the ancient texts once more. They mention Koto at the end of the path. It is likely the Plague Oni gave Koto a piece of the Jade Scepter for safekeeping. As a faithful subject of the Plague Oni, he won't part with his piece easily. Therefore, you must defeat him to get the second piece of the Jade Scepter.
Okay, so I believe that Koto, let me look it up really quick, is the one I was actually thinking of. Is the name? Yep, it's Koto. So, I was actually wrong before, but I wasn't entirely sure which one it was. But Koto is actually the guy who drops the Ninja Pig spell. If we're super duper lucky, we might actually get it from him. Well, we'll do these two side quests first, I guess. Wait, first things first, let us make sure that we still have some of these left over. Do not want to run out in the middle of a fight. Yeah, but Koto is the guy who drops the Ninja Pig spell, which is pretty cool. This guy is a lot easier to get the spell from than the guy who gets Samurai, just because Samurai is from the first boss of that dungeon I mentioned, so you have to actually wait in the sigil every single time you want to do a chance to get it, and then you have to walk all the way over to get it. Koto is a lot easier in that regard. I think I got mine super lucky. The drop rate isn't too great necessarily. I believe I've heard of some people going up to like 40 runs for him, but it actually is higher than like Lore Master, and I think I got mine like 12. Yeah, so you want to watch out for that. And hopefully our drop rates are a little bit better than this in the future, or we might just have to do 4 fights. Hopefully we can get 2 in 1, so we can just make this a little bit faster. Okay. Cool, we did get 2 at once. Nice. Very efficient, very nice. I have to see that it actually worked out like that. That was totally unexpected. I didn't even know they could drop 2. So yeah, nice to see that actually worked out. Oh, right. Let us see, let us see. Draw that. Okay. That did not kill them. That's a bit awkward. So, let's just try that again. Well, that's a little embarrassing. That's the first time I think that's happened where I actually haven't managed to one-shot these guys. I feel a little bit inadequate right now. Is my damage not up to snuff anymore? Yeesh, I might need to actually go and get the actual Zeus gear now. I can't let that happen again. And penny and dime, every single little bit of damage I can get apparently. Alright, well, pretending like that didn't happen, we'll just continue and beat up these rock guys instead. And they are actually really strong, relatively speaking. So we're actually gonna need blades for these guys. Oh, yeesh. We've already been going for 3 hours and 40 minutes. Well, I don't want to keep going forever tonight. I mean, I could probably keep streaming for a little while longer, but it's just Mooshu after all. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end stream in maybe 10 minutes after I finish all these side quests and turn them in, and maybe fight Koto, and then I'll end stream, and then you can expect maybe 2 hours, 3 hours from now, I'll be playing more Spider-Man on PS4, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I think. So let's just get this done. Yep, okay. So, at some point off screen, I'm gonna have to grind out Zeus again, because I am not gonna keep failing to one-shot these guys. I'm not gonna resort to having to use Hydra on every single enemy. They do not deserve it. These are just random mobs. They're not worthy of a 7-pip spell. At least until Dragonspire. Although a 2-pip Power Nova would way over one-shot kills against these guys. Yeah, because like a 2-pip Power Nova would be about as strong as the average 2-blade Power Nova. Would be 640 plus enchant. 750, 815 damage. So, it would actually do almost as much as what you'd expect from a Hydra. So with that in mind, it would actually be, oops, yeah, it would actually be doing way over. It would be doing like 1300 damage with 2 blades in my current gear. Wow, that's actually a lot. But yeah, got that to look forward to though. It might actually do more than 1300 damage. It might do like 1500. Although I think storm hits only actually hit for like, I think they actually only hit for like 1500, 1600. So it has to do less than that. Though I'm not sure exactly how much because I am not good at math. I have never been good at math and I probably never will be. Speaking of, I actually haven't been keeping up on my math lectures either. I've been watching those still on YouTube, but I haven't done them in like a week or so. So I need to get back on those. ASAP. Okay, nice. No weaknesses or anything. Okay, perfect. So I think we'll actually cut it off here with the side quests, just so I can get around to actually working on the stuff I was doing before I started stream again.
Ah, you found it. Disturbing rock. Bring cursed rock to Hakaru Yip, friend of Earth, near entrance to cave. Help corrupted Earth spirits, my brethren.
Okay, so both of them require us to talk to Hakaru Yip. Easy peasy then. So once we turn these in, I guess I might actually try raiding. I'm not sure if that's something that's locked behind affiliate though. Although I might try to find someone to raid. Guess I've never actually done that before. Might as well try it out now.
You got the venom sacks! Wonderful! Just add them to the pot here. Ah, what's that you brought? Cursed rock from the Earth Colossus? I fancy myself a bit of an alchemist. Let's see.
Hakaru Yip takes out a strange scope and begins examining the cursed rock.
Ah, I've got it! That's your problem. This rock is filled with diseased water. No doubt you'll continue to have cursed rock if that diseased water isn't purified. Tell the Earth Colossus that the diseased water must be cleansed first. Then he can cure his brethren. I'll also need some pearl orchids for the antidote. Do you mind going to find some for me? The antidote's brewing up well, but it needs all the ingredients to work.
Okay, so, yeah, I guess I'll cut it off about here for Wizard 101 today. Let me see if there's anybody actually playing Wizard 101, specifically VTubers. Although I guess I could try raiding. Oh hey. Again. Because he did it for me before. You know what? Sure, why not? Actually, we'll do that one. Although, actually, maybe it might be better to try to find someone smaller. I don't know. Let me see who's actually on right now. Let us see, let us see, let us see, let us see. Oh wow, there's actually quite a few people streaming as well. Who is this person? Do they have a followers only chat? There is, surprisingly, one. My headphones are not on. Okay, yeah, there's actually another VTuber playing Wizard101, so I shall raid out into them, I suppose. Stick around if you want to, and please have a nice day. Thank you all for joining and chatting with me today. It's very nice to be able to talk playing Wizard101. Raid. I guess that's an underscore. I think that's right now. Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who joined me, and have a very nice day. I will see you all later for Spider-Man. That, I believe, will work, so I can raid whenever. Alright. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks. I will now raid you out. Anyways,